Actual Tyrannosaurus, just like me.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to my weekly experience of getting over my fear of public speaking. I'm so happy to have everybody here.
It's therapy time.
God, I talk too much. That was the third show I've done today. I'm so happy to have everybody here. Welcome to Access Vegas, where once a week we all come together and we try to dispel a lot of myths. We try to show a lot of statistics. We try to help everybody out and have a good time. And it's kumbaya. And at the end, we have a fucking share circle. So it's going to be great. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and introduce our guest this week. She's from Los Angeles. She's an entrepreneur and a wedding coordinator. It's Paris. Everybody, welcome Paris.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to our little abode here. He is from Newport Beach. He's a college dropout. He's a sugar mama enthusiast, and he's the sales manager for Men of Action. It is Tyler. What's going on, Tyler?
What's up, guys?
Nice. She's from Garden Grove, California. She's a makeup artist. She's a model and an adult actress. It's Miss Red X.
Hello.
She is also one of the members of the Avengers. That's correct. She is the stunt double for Storm. All right, here we go. She's from Fresno, California. She's a singer and a songwriter. It's Armani. There we go. There she is. Armani made it. She's from Sacramento, California. She's a supermodel and influencer and an actress. It's Brandy. How's it going, Brandy? There we go. And she is from Tampa, Florida. She's an OnlyFans model. Please welcome for the first time, Jessica. Excited to have Jessica here. And she's from Warsaw, Poland. She's an exotic dancer. It is Alice. She's going to do the whole show in Polish. We're excited to have her. There we go. Nice.
Exactly.
He understands. He understands Polish too. That's beautiful. All right. So a pretty exciting week. Next week we are going to. I'm going to be in New York, and then we're going to go to Miami.
What exactly are you doing in New York?
I'm doing the Landmark Leadership Conference.
We're joining a cult.
Yeah, I'm joining a cult.
Really,
it always you know what's funny is because my team is so big, they send me to things and I don't know what the fuck they are. I'm going to Taylor Welsh's thing. Don't know fucking anything about it. I'm going to be in Nashville. I called kindly and told her I'm coming. No clue what I'm getting myself into. So that's kind of what my life has been like. I just continuing education. It's just I don't know what I'm supposed. They just whore me out to whatever.
Yeah. And then we wake up in Miami the week after.
Yeah. So it's going to be on the 15th, 16th, 17th, and then the 18th is going to be the animal rescue charity that we're doing for Project Fashion Tales at Hyde SLS in South Beach. It's going to be Babes in Toyland White Party for any of you guys who want to come. It's secretly, it's my favorite Babes in Toyland of all of them. It's really good. Although you will feel like you will feel like you are in a gorilla's asshole. It is so humid. But other than that, it's great. Listen, if it wasn't for the humidity, I live in Miami. Miami's great, but it is just too humid there.
Yeah.
And I like boobs more than butts. So I live here in Vegas, if you haven't figured that one out. All right, cool. Am I wrong? I mean, I'm right. Okay,
it is
cool.
true.
That's true.
That's why I'm moving to Miami.
That's why you're moving to Miami. That's right. If they're brown, he's down. All right.
We're sticking it out here.
If they're a minority, they're his priority. We got it. All right, so you want to get to some of these clips, or do you have any other announcement?
No, I just I think I'm in trouble this week.
Okay.
Did I get in trouble? Did I get in trouble? I'm in trouble.
Hold on. Did you get an Asian woman pregnant and then buy her a fucking $15?
No. Brett Cooper, those rumors are false, Brett.
Yeah,
sorry.
for sure.
No. I was going to say it just occurred to me that I should probably preface everything with the fact that myself and Aaron Clary, of all people, Captain Capitalism, we're on a DHS watch list of some sort.
Okay, yes, I saw that. We talked about this today.
There was an NGO, what was it, Diverting Hate, has now come clean and said that, they're actually doing this. So we are kind of subject to having been censored through the DHS, through the McCain Institute at Arizona State University, and then through their functionary, which is diverting hate. So essentially what they've been doing is they've been targeting red pill creators such as myself, Aaron, Fresh and Fit, Pearl, some other people that you may or may not be aware of. But apparently we're all on some list for, I don't know, sexism or misogyny or something that some whatever definition that they're making up. And so now this report comes out, and apparently it's official. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's actually something that's been going on. I think you had a discussion with Farrah and
we talked
Jasmine
specifically
Jafar about that.
Specifically about that, and you guys will get to see. You'll love this discussion we had. Awesome. Well, that's not fun. But
I just wanted to point that out because just to give you a preface before some of the stuff that we're talking about today, so people know what the hell we're talking about.
Definitely,
today,
definitely. Yeah. All right. Did you have one that you wanted to get to first?
No, you did. Let's go with one of yours here first. Which one did you want to get
I like
to?
this top 1% one. Did you see that one?
I have that right here. Oh boy, my best friend. Okay, here we go.
Can you guys look up on the screen real quick?
Do you know how much money you have to make in order to be in the top 1% in worldwide terms?
Oh, worldwide.
Yeah.
Stop the video.
Well,
Stop the video.
we don't-
Stop the
we're
video.
not-
Stop the video. Okay, ready? Before we finish this, I wanted to ask all the ladies here, if you could put out a number, you are the top % wage earner. We're going to go with the U.S. first and then the world. If you are a top 1% wage earner in the United States, Paris, how much do you think that person makes?
Billionaire.
Top 1%. You think they make $1 billion a year to put you in the top 1%?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Red, what do you think?
Multi-billionaire?
Income, top 1% income.
Income for the year?
Yeah.
Year annually. Okay. I don't know, 800,000 to $1 million.
800,000. What do you think?
I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of her.
You think it's $1 billion a year?
A year.
Yeah, I
Yes.
said million.
Damn.
$1 million.
Million,
That's a
something a little like
No.
over a few million,
Okay, all right.
few hundred million.
Brandy, what do you think?
Billion.
$1 billion a year? You guys think it's to put you in the top 1%? What are the top 1% in the world? Jessica?
I hate
I don't
money.
know, like 500 million.
500 million a year. Okay, go
Half
ahead.
a billion.
I think like 400, maybe 300.
300 what?
Thousand.
300,000. Okay. Thank you, Alice.
Finally.
For fuck's sake. The answer is about
From
five.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah, the answer is
Sorry,
somewhere
no.
between like $625 and like $550,000 a year. Put you in the top 1%. Okay, just curious, like what percent? Yeah, here we go. It's a new, it's a new audience. We might as well do this again. The percentage of American men do you think that make over $100,000 a year? What percentage do you think it is, Paris?
15.
15%. 15% make $100,000 a year, and you think the top 1% makes $1 billion?
Yes.
I'm so confused. Go ahead, Red.
I don't know, 5?
5%. What do you think?
I don't even want to.
$100,000.
$100,000.
Seriously.
6 figures.
Yeah. How much do you think 100,000? What percentage?
Are we just talking about globally or
No,
No,
United
United
States.
States.
United States? I want to say 20.
20%.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 15.
15. What do you think?
Like 35?
35. What do you think?
10.
10. Yeah, the answer is 17. So about
Okay.
17%
That was
of
close.
men make 100 grand. So the top 1% is not going to make
$1 billion.
$1 billion. That's pretty funny. All right, so now here's the ultimate question. We're going to be answered in this video. We're going to play it here in a second. Paris, to be in the top 1% in the world, how much money do you think you have to make per
1
year?
billion.
Huh?
1 billion.
1 billion a year in the
Yes.
top 1% in the world.
Yes.
Understanding we are the wealthiest nation in the world by far.
Every country.
Dubai.
We are far wealthier than Dubai. The GDP of the United States is $24 trillion. The GDP of the Emirates is like not even $2 trillion.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm still going for 1 billion.
1 billion. What do you think? What do you think, Tyler?
I would say probably 60K.
60K. What do you think, Red?
I have no idea.
No? For the whole world?
100K.
100K?
Deep thought. I would say maybe 300K.
300K for the whole world. Go ahead.
I think like based off of the last answer and what you just said about the U.S., I'm gonna go with like 500K.
500K. What do you think?
No idea actually.
Okay. Top 1% of the world. Finish playing the video.
Here we go.
$8,000 a year.
It's 32. You make $32,000 a year. You're in the top 1%.
Oh wow.
Top 1% in the world, you make $32,000 a year. Do you like when you really consider like the amount? We can talk about the delusionality of it, but when you actually consider from a concept. So in 2017, you guys can drink. Dr. Buss wrote an essay. 2016, he wrote an essay about how women, because they're outpacing men in education, about 60% of college enrollees are female. What happens is because they outpace them in education, eventually they outpace them in income. And as a woman makes more money, the people that she can choose from if she goes across or up becomes smaller and smaller. Does that make sense? As soon as she gets to 100K, now she only has like this 17% of men to choose from, but they also have to be taller than her, good looking, etc. That number gets smaller and smaller. But the thing is, if you make 100K and you have a master's degree, you're not just competing with other women that have 100K and a master's degree. You're competing with broke women who are just hot also. So you're competing with wealthy women and poor women at the same time. And so now what happens is, this is the discussion I had with Jasmine Jafar. She's like, well, hypergamy is not manifesting because these women are not all dating the guys up at the top. And the reason why they're not is because there aren't that many guys at the top. When you multiply 0.17, which is the number of men that make $100,000 a year, times 0.14, which is the number of men that are over 6 feet tall or taller, that's 2.3% of men. The reason why women are settling, and they're not really settling, they're just actually dating normal men that they probably would be dating otherwise. But the reason why women are settling is because the men that they choose don't exist. There's just not enough of them. And so they end up moving down a couple of spots. And most women find most men to be unattractive. So from their estimation, they are settling. But really, if you were to look at it from a numbers game, it's not the case. If we look at the other side, though, if you're going to say, what are some of the top predictors of why a man would go with no sex? What do you think it would be? A man would go for, let's say, a year with no sex. What do you think one of the top predictors would be?
Can you read?
Well, look, there's a lot of different demographics. Like it could be height, weight, money, whatever. What do you think of one of the top predictors for why a man would go with no sex for a year? Like no women would want to have sex with him. He's involuntarily celibate. What would cause that?
His age, his appearance.
His age, his appearance. Okay. Red, what do you think?
His stature.
Okay.
You mean status-wise? Like
his
stats. Social status?
Yeah, and money-wise.
Okay.
I'd say obviously looks or just mindset. Some people could be turned off by the way someone thinks.
Mindset, okay.
Yeah.
I would say status.
Can you get close to the microphone? So status?
I would say status.
Go ahead.
I feel like maybe just the way that they talk to women.
Talk to women, okay.
Being overweight.
Being overweight. So so the thing is, from a demographic standpoint, we can't really, the CDC doesn't say, you have a bad attitude, right? The CDC is not measuring whether or not you talk to women nicely. What the CDC can measure are things like being overweight, how tall you are, or how much money you make. And as men have part-time employment or they've been fired and have no employment, the likelihood increases for them to have no sexual partners. Make sense? Because sorry, guys, hypergamy is real. That's it. Yes. So we always talk about hypergamy on the top end. Hypergamy meaning women usually wanting to move up in their class, marry someone who's better than them, wealthier than them, of a higher socioeconomic class. While we talk about that at the high end, meaning the barista marrying the billionaire, we rarely discuss it at the low end, which is the bottom third or bottom quartile of men that don't have any success with short-term dating. You guys understand? You guys have seen it before. There's the guy, he's like the really nice guy, but like girls aren't calling him in the middle of the night to go hook up with him, right? And then there's the guys who get that, right? But then what happens is when the girl is done hooking up with the guy in the middle of the night, then she settles for the second guy. And that's not fun for the second guy. You guys see how that might not be fun for the second guy? He might not enjoy that. He might not. He's like, oh, you're done with your short-term dating? Now you can start long-term dating with me. Yes. And a lot of times they don't like that, right?
Yes. Now that we're both 30. Yes. I should also point out that that's the average age of first marriage. For women is 30, and for men it's 32. And there's a reason for that, because it's between the ages of, say, 18 and 28 is when women tend to like have their party or their hoe phase. That's when the hoe phase comes out. And right around 29, 30, 31, that's when women want to get serious. And then suddenly it's, well, I want to do things the right way. I want to try something new. In fact, I've got a video for that here, right here.
All right, let's look up at the screen, guys. Everybody,
see if you guys agree with this.
I didn't want a really nice guy when I was 24, right? And so I ended things. I went back on the scene. I mean, things worked out. I got married, I got a baby. But relatively speaking, if things didn't work out, and I said to myself, you know what? I do want a nice guy. I do want someone who's stable. I do want someone who's loving. Now that I'm older, I'm more reflective. I know you don't believe in older, but right. I'm older. I'm more reflective, right? I could say I've now changed my mind and I want to reconsider this. Now, whether or not he wants to give me a second chance, I would say he'd be dumb for doing so. But for me to go back, because I was the one who left, he was a good person. What I wanted has now changed.
Well, what if he wanted change too?
And now he don't want me?
Yeah.
I mean,
It don't be happening.
Okay, so this is like literally this woman just like read the Rational Mail. It's crazy. That's exact. So, what do you guys think about what she's saying up there? Anybody?
It's true.
Go ahead.
It's
Extrapolate.
very true. To be in a committed relationship, for one, takes maturity.
But are you different at 24 than you are at 29? Is what she's talking about there? At 24,
Yes.
she wanted a little bit more of some chaos
Yes.
in her life.
She wanted the bad boy.
She wanted the bad boy, and then
Yes.
later on, she went back to the same guy that she left because she wanted a little bit more chaos. And then she said, "But it's up to him if he wants to take me back." And she's like, "I wouldn't take me back if I was him." Right? So, have you something you've experienced?
Yes. You know, I was enjoying myself at a very young age.
Yeah.
You know, no commitment, no responsibility. And then later on, I had my fun, and I'm like, okay, I want to settle down. I want to have the responsibility of taking care of my man. I want to be mature and whatnot. She's lucky enough to get the person back that she wasn't ready for.
Yeah, for that's for sure. I will say this is one place where I really diverge from a lot of people, content creators in the red pill space, is that the only thing that grows faster than the OnlyFans economy is the simp economy. Like there is always going to be hundreds of thousands. If you're attractive, I don't care if you're 30, 35, 40, there'll be hundreds of thousands of men who will right swipe on you. And if you lower your standards just a little bit, you can get anyone. By the way, we're going to go over a study later on today about height and number of lifetime sexual partners based on height. But the funny thing is, this is really crazy. Did you know taller women have more lifetime sexual partners?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
Where'd that come from?
And shorter women have fewer It's really crazy. I thought that was interesting. Shorter men have more sex with their married partners and are less likely to leave the relationship.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? From the same study.
It's opportunism, yeah, I'm sure.
It is really interesting, isn't it? Yep. All right. So, what I just asked you, is this something you've experienced, like a change in what you found attractive throughout your 20s and 30s?
Not necessarily. I thought that my 20s were very much about like me understanding myself and not going into a relationship. I think that I knew that I didn't really know what I wanted yet. I wasn't looking for anyone. I wasn't trying to date anyone. And I think that that's really, really important. A lot of people miss that part of life. A lot of women, especially because of the way that we're taught to get married early and to have kids and to do the whole like family tree and everything else. And I've always been like the rebellious one against it. So in my experience, I didn't really know that I knew until I met him.
Okay,
so
yeah,
the individual.
Yeah, the individual change.
My husband.
But you felt something different from when you were in your early 20s to now, like what you find attractive.
Yes, mentally.
Okay, cool. Armani?
Yeah. Okay, so coming from someone who I was in a very long-term relationship starting when I was really young, I just got single about a year ago, and I'm in my early 20s. I feel like it's always been the same for me. I have a lot more learning to do, obviously. And right now, I feel like it's a time for me to go out and work on myself and not really date. You know, I don't want to share myself with somebody else until I'm complete. I didn't really know myself until, you know, I left that relationship. So now that I'm able to do so and I get to sit alone and I don't have somebody to run to, it feels good.
Right.
And it also depends on how you were raised. Like, some people long for things they didn't have in their childhood. People long for companionship. Personally, I've always been fulfilled with companionship. My family loves me, so I knew I was going to be okay by myself. And I think that women and men in their early 20s should focus on themselves before, like, jumping into something serious. Maybe, you know, when you get your stuff together, then choose to share your life with someone else who's obviously on the same level on you, or, you know, above, if that's your cup of tea. But that's just my opinion.
Did your parents or anybody like sort of direct you in that way, like saying you should just focus on yourself in your 20s?
Absolutely.
Is that the way you were raised?
Yeah.
Was like, don't settle real quick, don't jump anything.
And I feel like half of that is because they settled really quick and they had kids in their early 20s, so they like.
Did they have regrets from doing that? You think?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Things don't work out. Everything's temporary, so I feel like.
See, that's why, like, from what you were saying just a minute ago, where it's like you're relating that, like, we sort of as a society or whatever, we want to like encourage women to like get married early and stuff like that. I don't think that's true, because like when I see what her situation is, I think it's more even parents are now like directing their daughters and saying, do it while you have the time, maximize your opportunities when you're in like 18 to 28, somewhere around there. And I think that they really sort of the narrative right now, social narrative right now, is like almost completely the opposite.
I have very like old school parents. It's
that
probably
might
that.
be it.
Yeah, my parents are like old school Arabs, so I was kind of pushed into the whole getting married and having a family really young, and so I was the one that kind of.
Yeah, and then I also and people, and I know people in the chat are going to give me shit for this, but it's like say, well, that's the wrong thing. You shouldn't teach your daughter that. You should teach her to be like some nice little homemaker or whatever else. And I think that even if that was the case, even if you're doing that, you're still dealing with a worldwide, globalized now, not just localized, a globalized society that is encouraging exactly the same thing. So, anyways,
Brandy,
pass it.
Yeah, I think, I grew up kind of like my family's super just like religious, and, like I was always the crazy one. I feel like, like from a young age, like I've always been like a party girl and stuff. And like when I kind of just like go to like when I'm dating a guy or something, like I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like just like living in the moment and stuff, and like from like 20, I'm in like my 20s, but like I feel like I'm 26 and like I want to have fun and everything, like you never know. I just kind of just like live in the moment, yeah.
Okay, so but you're in your early 20s, so it's kind of harder because you guys are in your early 20s. You wouldn't have had the opportunity to like pivot. Is what you found attractive.
Yeah.
How about you, Jessica? Have you always found the same thing attractive? Did you want bad boys at one point and then change what you
still
felt?
wants bad boys now? What are you talking about?
So this is like the first time in my life where I've really been single. I definitely was a serial dater. So like I had like a high school boyfriend I was with for 2 years. Next relationship was also 2 years. Relationship after that was also 2 years.
Wow.
And I tend to find that I go for like whatever the opposite is of the last person I dated. So
like overcompensate for the other way.
Yeah, kind of like I figure out what I didn't like about the relationship and then I shoot for exactly the opposite.
Yeah.
Totally.
But like each relationship in itself is a learning experience. I think you can learn a lot about
So
yourself.
you have a short, ugly, broke guy now. Is that what you? I know what you're saying. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. I
No,
apologize.
she's looking for a
Sorry,
about my
she's looking for
vibrator
it.
like that. But anyways, yeah, no, I tend to go for like complete opposite of whatever I had last. Like I feel like that's the smartest way to go about it. Like I feel like it would just be kind of dumb if you just put yourself in the same exact position every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the whole point is to grow.
All right, Alice, you had any transformation?
No, not really.
In Polish, please.
Ja mam kompletnie inne. Okay. I have different experience. I got married to my first boyfriend. When I was 19, I met him. I married him 3 years later, and now we're together for 6 years.
Okay, nice. All right, well, there you go. Gonna get some W Alice's here pretty soon. I have a feeling. Okay, this is interesting. But you guys can kind of see the dichotomy, right? On the one hand, it's like, from her standpoint, she's like, I wanted this thing, and now I want this other thing. But it's like, it feels like it's universal with women to where they want this man who creates a little bit more chaos, and then they change the way they change what they're looking for. And when we look at surveys in evolutionary psychology, we kind of see that to be the case. I'll tell you one thing that's interesting, going even further. I don't know if you know this, but as a woman gets near her reproductive career, at the end of it, she's more likely to file for divorce.
Yeah.
She's more likely. It's really interesting when you see stats like that.
So we talked about this with Jim Sexton, divorce attorney.
Yeah,
he was saying the first average age of first divorce is 42 for women. So I would say that's probably once women get past like the 39 to 40 mark, then that's probably when you start thinking about things. The other thing is like you brought this up, and I forget who else brought this up. I love it when women say like, I had my fun, and now I have had my journey of self-discovery, and I'm somebody completely different. And I'm like, what the fuck happened between like 30 and 31 that like you had this like epiphany of now I want to get right with God, and I want to do my whole new life in a different way. And whenever you're relating, you're like, I had my fun. Don't do that, because what that means is there's no fun for you anymore. No more fun for anybody else. I had it. We're gonna get really serious here,
ladies. I don't try to give a ton of advice, but I'm going to give some advice right now. Like what he said before. Don't say, "Hey, I'd like to settle down with you. I've had my fun." No. That's not good. And the other one that guys,
I was so crazy.
The other guy, one that guys don't want to hear is, "Yeah, when I was single, I had threesomes, but I'm not going to do that because I'm with you now." Yeah. Don't say that to any guy. They don't want to hear that. Okay, just want to give you a little heads up there. All right, beautiful. All right, do you want to?
Yeah, I have another one that's on the same topic. Here's number 2 for that. Thank you. By the way, big credits go to Brian from Whatever Podcast for this one.
Yeah, like honestly, even like my boyfriend now, like I tell him too, I was like, you honestly weren't my regular type, and he ended up being my soulmate in my eyes because I was into like douchebags before him. So it's like I would not have given him a chance, but I was like, oh, he's nice, he's funny, and then I was like, oh shoot, like I just took a chance on a good guy, even though that wasn't my type before.
What,
you know,
what was your type?
I'd say guys with like huge egos.
Oh,
yeah, and he's a very like
humble
person.
Huge egos.
Yeah, like that was my type before him. Like always huge egos, like not good intentions, and then my boyfriend now is very like humble, amazing intentions.
Question for you: so, how many of the jerks and boys did you have to go through before you gave him a shot?
Honestly, I'd say quite a lot. Like hookup culture toxic, because it was toxic. It was so bad for my mental health. The guys were terrible, and it's refreshing not to have that anymore.
Hey, just curious, what do you think it's like for his mental health?
Yeah.
What do you think that's like? Because she's on the fucking Whatever podcast, and 25,000 people are watching.
That's absolutely
And she's saying, I went through a bunch of fucking fuckboys, and now I'm settled with you because it was so bad for my mental health. What do you think it was like for his mental health?
Yeah.
What do you think that was like? I'm just curious.
She probably has daddy issues.
That is downplaying him.
Now, how does he feel?
Yes, I agree.
Huh?
How does he feel?
It's so disrespectful towards him, like insanely.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, it still
not gonna feel
happens.
good about that.
It still happens. Like, guys, I got bad news for you. If you meet a girl and you start dating her and she's like 31, 32, she probably had more than 50% chance, unless she was married the entire time. She probably had a period in college or early 20s where she drank a little bit, and she may have had sex with 2 or 3 guys in a month. And it's like, that's just how it is. But the problem is, it's one of the issues. I think it's one of the issues. If you were a guy who's been with a lot of women, you can maybe deal with it or maybe not. But if you were one of the guys who kept getting passed over and put in the friend zone, and then you get with a girl who's in her 30s who she goes, I'm tired of having my fun. I had my fun, but I'm not going to do that anymore with you.
No more fun for you.
Honey, please take out the trash so I can give you a blowjob. Nobody clip that. But like that, maybe that's what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? Like what Sheryl Sandberg says, find them sexy when they take out the trash and do the lawn work. That kind of thing. Maybe that's the case. Now, here's the thing. Alan Roger Curry, he wrote a book called Mode 1. And I don't agree with everything in the book, but I agree with I don't agree with his offense. I don't think you should go that direct. But I do agree with his defense about like people wasting your time. And one of the things he says that I really, really, really agree with, he said, the reason why men become misogynists, he said they don't become misogynists because they are rejected by women. He said they become misogynists because women will sit there and waste their time, pretend to be their friend or pretend to be attracted to them. Men will put time and resources into those women, and then along the way, the same women, while she's crying on his shoulder, and she's like, oh my God, I just fucked Bob last night and I just met him. Like, what? I've been sitting here putting all my time and effort in you, and you just fuck some guy you just met? Yeah. That is when men become misogynists. That's why I do recommend I don't want to give a ton of advice on the show, but another piece of advice I would give you ladies is be very direct when you have no intention of having sex with a guy.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you do not, and he continues to waste his time and effort on you, and then finds out later that you are having sex with some other man who is not giving you time and effort, he will resent you and possibly women overall. Yeah. Go ahead, Paris.
Do you know why they wouldn't do that?
Why? Who wouldn't do what?
Go.
So a female who has a secure blanket, that's a man, right? Mm-hmm. This man is interested of her. He is like obsessed with her. He dreams about fucking her, but she's over here coming to him as a blanket, like, oh, he did me so dirty. He did this to me. He did that to me. Da 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 da. That's for me. That's like a simp.
We call that an emotional tampon. Is what that is.
Emotional tampon.
Yeah.
But understand this, like a woman who's finding him useful, she's not going to be honest with him. She's not going to be like, oh yeah, you're just my tampon. I'm just going to throw away until I get the next one who's going to hear my bullshit. Like, dead ass. Like, females have these type of men around because they don't have a therapist. And this is why females should have therapists, because that's in a professional, healthy way to speak to. So no one's not going to tell your bullshit around. And yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but I also believe that it goes both ways. That's just me being honest.
For sure.
Men do have women around just, to have them around
to
as a
use
backup.
for-
And that's fine, it's part of human nature. We cannot control people and what their intentions are. We can just control ourselves.
Control how you react
and
to the
I don't care what no one
situation.
says. If someone's playing you or if you're a friend zone dude, don't be delusional. Coming from a formal delusional girl. I'm just saying.
So I will say this. I will say this, Armani.
Yes.
A lot of times, men are more susceptible to being on the autism spectrum, and because of that, they can't tell.
Exactly.
They can't tell, which is why, ladies, you have to be.
More and more guys are on that spectrum.
More and more guys are on the spectrum. So here's the thing. If they can't tell, then you have to be like, I'm not going to have sex with you. Like, you have to be, and the thing is, you might, I'm going to lose him as a friend, and I'm going to hurt his feelings. No, you're going to hurt his feelings when he finds out that you fucked Steve last week and Steve didn't even buy you dinner.
Or you go on whatever podcast and say, I had a bunch of guys and I had my fuckboy phase.
I had a fuckboy phase.
I don't know who that guy was, the male guest on there, but his soul looked like crushed when she was talking about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys are not ever like around women as a friend unless they are expecting to fuck you at some point.
I don't think so.
I think Red, I think that's mostly the case, but I don't think that's always the case, just in part because if you're a guy and you have a lot of options, there's a lot of women you don't find attractive, and you can be friends with them. And I'm just saying that from my standpoint, Tyler, probably the same way. It's like most of the females we interact with, we're just friends with, because like I find less than 1% of women attractive. It's not like I find them unattractive. It's just like if you're around enough beautiful women, it's very easy to be friends with women. But for the most part, I agree with you. If you just did a 15-month deployment in Iraq and you came back, real hard to be friends with women. Totally agree with you. But if you are a manager at a strip club and you have a girlfriend and another girl on the side, and you like consistently having sex with whoever you want, and you work with 40 to 60 girls every night,
my husband's that.
Yeah,
so,
you're gonna. I'm sorry, but like I know some people like to disagree with me. If you disagree with me, talk to a successful club promoter. He's gonna agree with me. He's gonna be like, yeah, dude, it's just so many girls. Like, yes, of course I'm friends with them. The girls bring more girls, and we're just cool, and they celebrate my birthday, and it's fine. So if you do that, like for my birthday, what I do is I create a group chat. I take my 4 closest female friends and my girlfriend, and they're like a committee of 4, and then I put another 80 girls in the group chat, and they throw my birthday party, and they don't tell me shit. That's how I do it every year. So you can, but you're right, most guys can't.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like, guys having friends, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm talking about like the naive women that are using them as a clutch.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
Let me see if I can address your point and sort of come full circle here. I'm gonna put on Mr. Wizard hat here. Okay, so when women are in their let's say their reproductive phase, their ovulatory phase, right, of their menstrual cycle, when you're between the what's called the luteal phase, where you guys are building up to releasing the egg, right? There's a window of about like day 10, day 12, somewhere in there, and that's when women tend to put what's called sexual ornamentation. They wear the hoop earrings, they wear the red dress, they put themselves into situations, it's girls' night out, they put themselves into situations where they're going to meet, if they're single, where they're going to meet men, or if they're with a guy that they really like, they're going to probably be a little bit more proceptive about, getting with that guy. But then afterwards, when you go on the down cycle and you get into the, I guess that would be the luteal phase, at that point, that's when you're looking for it's almost like a mini nesting phase for you. It's like you don't want to deal with the asshole anymore who fucked you 2 weeks ago, and you want to cry on the phone. That's when you need an emotional tampon. That's when you need a guy who's going to be a good listener. He's going to sit there, or you call your girlfriends, or you eat a quart of Ben and Jerry's or whatever it is, and then you go through what is it? Is it PMC? What's
PMS.
PMS. Yeah, I forgot what the designation is now. PMS. You go through the PMS phase, which is really, and this is according to theory, right, is to push away all those guys, so that when you come back around to your ovulatory phase again, that you're ready for the jerk that you hated so much, like just 3 weeks ago. Now you're back on week 1 again, and now you want to get with that guy again, and it comes full circle. So essentially, what happens is you have 2 guys for 2 purposes. You have got the one who's the asshole, douchebag, fuck boy guy when you're in your proliferative phase, and then when you get into the luteal phase, when you're in your down cycle and you're flushing and everything else, that's when you want the guy who's nice and comfortable. He's your big teddy bear that you want at the the end, and you just want to hug him. The problem is when that big teddy bear guy who is your emotional tampon, the guy that is your comfort guy, and suddenly he gets a hard on. It's like having a stuffed animal that suddenly has a dick, right? And you're like, oh my God, I didn't think you were like that. I didn't think you really wanted that.
You guys imagine,
I thought we were
a
friends.
teddy bear and there's just like a dick.
It just pops up out of nowhere.
Oh God!
Because
what's this in my armpit?
You're used to that guy.
There's a dick in my armpit.
You're used to that guy being the teddy bear, right? But he's actually the guy hoping that when you come back around your cycle, he's going to be the guy that you're going to want to fuck.
Yeah.
Which I think you can have both. I think you can have
at the same time,
or different guys.
Dual mating strategy.
Not saying like the two guys at the same time, but I think you can have like one guy that is both of those things for you.
Yeah. So home math calls that Prince Charming. When you're when you're someone who is like outrageously attracted to him, and he also provides, protects, all those things. That's called. He calls that Prince Charming. If it's all attraction and no comfort, that's like the fuck boy. And if it's all comfort and it's no attraction, that's the gay best friend. But if you can get attraction first and then comfort, then it's Prince Charming.
Yeah. I think also too, like I used to have like really bad viewpoints of men in general, but I think what has helped me the most, because you guys are talking about like
shows like these.
Well, I think a major thing was just like surrounding myself with men who were positive, and especially like I met Tyler before this was even a thing. Like he goes to raves and stuff. The rave community is amazing. Like you can show up half naked, nobody's gonna try to like touch you in a weird way. Like if you're fucked up, somebody's like concerned, are you okay?
Unless you get in the mosh pit.
Then you're fine.
Shout out to EDC. We're going to be touching some dudes. I'm going to be touching up some dudes in a weird fucking way when we get there. Trust me.
You can blame it on the Molly.
You can blame it on the dude. We're blaming on the dubstep.
In your alpha male kitty shirt.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, you get to choose who you surround yourself with. And if you have like a bias of like all this gender is like this and this gender is like that, and then like you only see people through that lens and you surround yourself with people who fit that bias, of course you're going to think like that. So like the past, I don't know, probably a couple years or so, I've been working really hard to get around that way of thinking, because like I don't want to shut myself off from like half of the population. I would much rather just surround myself with men who are protective, who I can be direct with. And, you know, like I've had guy friends who have tried and I'm like, no, this is not what I want, like very direct. And then they're like, oh, okay, let me respect your space, but we can still be friends. And then it's fine after that. You know, I think communicating and being direct is like the best thing you can do, especially because sexual tension can come out of anywhere. You never know what people are thinking.
Jessica, have you ever had a guy that you thought of as just a friend? He wasn't like ugly or anything weird about him, and then you saw him with another girl and you changed your feelings about him? Has that ever happened?
No, I don't.
No?
That might just be a me thing, though.
No, it's fine. I'm just curious. Yeah, sometimes.
No. And I've even had, like, guys who I've slept with. Like, there was one guy that I used to sleep with in Tampa, just very casually. And he got a girlfriend. We obviously stopped, like, doing that. But it wasn't anything weird. Like, she knew who I was. Like, I would see them randomly out. I would go up. I'd give them both a hug, and everything was
They invited you over.
Oh, I wish, but no.
You just proved my point. That was my fucking point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my point.
Sorry. No, well, I just like sometimes being a little unicorn. That's all.
Yes, unicorns are life.
That had nothing to do with him specifically.
Yeah.
His girlfriend was hot though, so I think I was falling more for his girlfriend than him anyway.
Right. Social proof there. Okay. Do we have any other? What was the?
Oh no, I got some super chats and they're really good questions. That's why I want to get to some of these. I'm going to start the first one here. Ladies, do you tend to date men who have similar personalities to your father's, even if your father had narcissistic traits, or even if your dads are extremely nice?
Ooh.
Red, what do you think?
Yes, in some cases, yes. Like I noticed that it's all very subconscious, but yes, in a lot of ways. And that's like a normal tendency for women to take part in, just the same with men and their mothers. But I don't think that it's like a conscientious thing. As much as it's subconscious, because like for me, when I met my husband, I thought they're the complete fucking opposite. Like absolutely no comparison whatsoever. And then after being with him for a few years, married with him for a few years, I'm like, oh, you are like my dad in like little microscopic ways, but the ways that actually would be meaningful to my life and have kind of synced us up. So yeah, I do believe that.
Yeah, I have the same thing with my husband. in like the same thing. Like I didn't thought about it, and also like after a couple of years, I was like, oh my god, like my dad.
I married my
would say
dad.
the same thing. It's funny, but very luckily, only the good things. Like the only good things about my dad are like similar to
Absolutely,
my husband's, and
I agree. Yes.
I feel like if a woman, like early ages, child development, whatever, if you have a present father in your life, automatically as you grow up, and this is the person who's helping raising you, so that is the male example that you're going to have. That's who you're looking at. Oh, automatically you're going to date people and attract people that are like your father. It could be very damaging sometimes if you have a terrible father figure, but it could also come from, daddy issues, wanting that bond, and you find someone similar like that. So, yeah, I think that I know I attract people who are like my dad. I attract very charismatic, goofy people because I'm the same way. Like, I love to laugh, and I love a guy who knows how to make me laugh.
Armani, I don't think you have trouble attracting anyone. I don't really think, like, when you say I attract men who are like this, I just really don't. I'm not trying to hit on you or whatever, but I just don't think you have a trouble. I think what I'm saying is I don't think you, like, have trouble attracting an asshole versus a nice guy. I think they're all just kind of like.
You'd be so
It's the
surprised.
ones you pick.
Yeah.
It's the ones you pick.
But, like.
Yeah. I agree that you probably pick the goofy ones. I think you may find them attractive.
I do find the ones, the nerds attractive. I love them. I don't care.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Anyone else?
What was the question again?
Do you, for better or worse, like if your father was a narcissistic asshole,
anybody
or
else
if he was a nice guy, do you think that you're attracted to guys that have the same qualities that your father does?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
That's just weird for me to date someone that has the similarity as my dad. Like, are we talking about worth ethic? Yes, I want someone who has the similarity as my dad with his worth ethic. Yes, of course. But someone who has the same similarity as my dad, no, that's weird to me. Like, no, I wouldn't find that attractive. No.
Wasn't it Freud who talked about this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think,
Which thing that was Freud?
like the whole there's like a I think it's
Oedipus.
between like 1 and
That's
3.
falling in love with your mother.
Yeah, but then like as you get
But there's
older,
an Electra complex too. Which
yeah,
is
like I think like your nervous system just like has like this idea of like what home feels like, even if it's like absolute shit and
got
chaos.
it. Okay, so you're talking about finding equilibrium through like chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
whether home was like chaotic or nice, like I feel like you're just generally gravitated towards anything that feels close to home, just because it feels nice. You know what
Comfort,
I mean?
yeah.
So we're talking about these different stages. I'll tell you a stage I went through. There was definitely a stage in my early 20s where I saw pretty girls who didn't like me and would have done anything to date the pretty girls and did not care about the level of chaos that they needed in their
Was
life.
it like a game for you?
It wasn't a game. It was survival. It was just like I saw pretty girls who didn't like me, and I was in the gym, fucking working in a nightclub. I was doing everything I could, like trying everything I could because I liked pretty girls. And so, but my selectivity didn't care if they had a relationship with their dad, did not give a fuck what their body count was, could not care less what their political affiliation was. None of those things weighed in whatsoever. It was like boobies were big. That was it. That was nothing else.
Is she hot? Is she available?
That's it. That's all it was. Now, what happened later on, and I remember the moment it happened, there was a girl, very, very attractive, a dancer who worked at the Rhino, and I was friends with her, and we were all at El Dorado one time. There's a big group of us. There was a bunch of Rhino dancers, and then there was a bunch of like VIP hosts that I was friends with. We did like an industry event. We're all sitting there, and she starts telling the story about how this male stripper got her pregnant and then like abandoned her. And I remember thinking she was the prettiest girl I'd seen. And I was like, oh my God, this girl is so beautiful. And she just like went off with this guy who got her pregnant and then was sitting there crying to us, and we're looking at her like, you were dating a male stripper. Like we're like confused. And then I just started to realize like that was the first time when it was a turnoff, where I realized like not only is your
ick.
Yeah, well I got the ick because it was the first time where I was like, not only would you mistreat me for treating you good, I can't possibly provide you the level of chaos you need in order to feel fulfilled because of the, like what you said before, the equilibrium that you must have had in your childhood home. And so now when I see women who like crave that level of chaos, like if you tell me your last 3 exes are narcissists, I don't care how big your boobs are. Like it's just like if you have 10 roommates and you think they're all assholes, eventually you're the asshole roommate.
No,
you have to recognize
if you are calling all of your exes crazy, there is something wrong with
For
you.
sure.
You lack self-awareness.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think that goes with both guys or girls. Like if a guy comes up to me and he's like, every single girl I've ever dated, fucking psycho.
Yeah.
I'm like, you did something.
Yes.
And then like vice versa. Like if a girl's like, all the guys I dated, they were like, I'm like, there's a problem. Like
Right.
you are the common denominator here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it takes like not a lot of people can recognize that like that upbringing can affect them as an adult. I think it takes a lot of self-awareness to heal and move away from that, which a lot of people lack.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. How long did it take you when you were younger and doing all this stuff to go from I just want titties to like we all still do. We're still doing it. Yeah.
There's still a little bit of that.
But I want titties to like I want titties, but I don't want titties if she's dating the male stripper.
Yeah.
Like that. How long did that take?
it-
And did you have to get to a point of like more sexual abundance?
Yes, so that was it. It was I was 2013 in Vegas, so I'd been here for 2 years. And at that point, I'm not saying like I was crushing it, but I was dating more beautiful women than I'd ever dated in my life, and had no trouble meeting beautiful women. And that was the point where it happened.
They're
It was abundance. It was that point where it was like
You had a moment of clarity.
Yes, when I first met her, I was like, "That's the prettiest girl I've ever seen." But like when we were having this conversation, I was like, "Oh, now like I can be a little bit more selective." But it was one of these things where it was like two things. It was like I already saw in my mind a relationship with her where she cheated on me because I didn't provide enough chaos. One, and number two, me provide like there's no way I could provide enough chaos to make her happy. So this wouldn't have fit, and it was just like one of these things where like I was physiologically turned off by this woman complaining to me about getting pregnant by a fucking male stripper who we all knew was cheating on her when they were like it wasn't even a secret when they first met. We all knew it. Yes, that's the point, and it was just like you tolerated that. And I think I'd maybe asked her out once, and I'm not trying to blame her for not going out with me, but it was like, you didn't want to go out with me. I would have never done that to you, but you went out with him, and it was like, it was a turnoff. There was a first point, and then from that point on, it just got easier and easier.
So the personality like overrode the boobies.
For sure. Like there are points where like a girl is like incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? Entitled. Entitlement now turns me off very much.
See, I think a lot of guys presume that they're already at that stage. Like, oh, I would never get into that. Like, how to vet some girl. And you know, they've got a notch count of like maybe 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
Or they have no idea what, but they don't know enough. Like you had to go. I mean, how long it took you to get to that point? But you had to go through girls, and you had to go through abundance. You had to go through a process before you could actually like realistically, educatedly make a determination.
It was like 2 years out of the military. That's when I kind of figured it out. But living in Vegas, you have so much abundance just with the just from physically attractive women. You have so much abundance from living here that you can just like you start to recognize as a man like what your value is. Yeah. All right,
I got some too, but go ahead.
I got 3 here. Number 1 from Siege D. Shout out to Siege D. He's my moderator. W. Sartain Psychology, as always. Appreciate that, brother. Victor Kelvin writes, hello, wondering what you thought about hitting every muscle group you have in the body to the highest intensity as a full body workout speeds up your gains. Victor, here's the thing. If you go out and bale hay, you're going to burn calories. Like this idea, like there's all these different fads on like different ways to work out, whether or not it's high intensity training, or if it's just, it's low reps, high weight, or if it's fucking CrossFit. And the reality situation is calories in, calories out. That's how you end up becoming a leaner and get those gains. And then finally from Culture Club USA, props to Siege D from the Culture Club cult members. I don't know who Culture Club is, but they're on my.
They're in every single.
They're in one. So shout out to Culture Club. I don't know if you guys do some streaming, but let's hook up. All right, cool, beautiful.
All right, I got. Let's see. I've got Thrive Alpha. Okay, ladies, what is the most unattractive thing a guy can do or has done? Let's start with you.
Unattractive thing?
Unattractive thing a guy can do or has done.
So I don't like people that are alcoholics or have problem with drugs or something like this. So
And you're Polish?
Huh?
Another thing. I'm just like.
So yeah, I that's very unattractive for me. If a guy is like sitting in his house and drinking whiskey by himself and stuff like this. For me,
Bro, isn't it so weird? People who do coke by themselves. What the fuck?
In the room.
Like, listen, you should listen. Let me say this real quick.
It is.
Let's just say this really quick. Okay, don't give people coke. Don't do drugs. But if you're going to do drugs, I understand. If you do them with girls, I kind of get it, right? You're doing them with girls. I get it. If you're going to do drugs by yourself and you're a dude, or you're going to do coke with your guy friends,
Stop
what?
it.
Somewhere you lost the memo. You have lost the plot, bro. What is going on here? Okay, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
All right.
Most unattractive thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Jessica.
I think for me, it's lacking motivation. I don't give a shit what it is you're working towards, but to have some kind of goal, whether that be to better yourself emotionally, better yourself financially. Maybe you just like to fucking garden. That shit's hot. I'll watch you garden. I'll come out. I'll bring you some fucking lemonade. I don't give a shit. Come out in a bathing suit. I don't care. But like, just be working towards something. The thing that's most attractive, like when you're a fucking bum, you don't care about anything. That's what's the least attractive to me.
I'm really good. I'm elite at cleaning up cat poop. Like I am world class level.
Dude, come over to my place. I'll put you in touch with my greyhounds and I'll let you pick up their poop.
Yeah.
And Matt, you will be Olympic class.
Incredible at cleaning up cat poop. I have those Lysol wipes literally in every corner of my apartment. Yes, I'm elite.
Put that in my notes. Make sure I chop wood in front of Jesse.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
I would say with the most unattractive thing is like I'm in a relationship now, fairly new, but you know, in the past, you know, I would say the most unattractive thing probably would just be like fuckboy attitude, just like, you know, like going out, for example, like going out with a guy and then like them just like wanting to fuck, like, you know, like, because I have like this like sex appeal I feel like I give off, like, you know, like really sexy and stuff, but like I feel like I can't control that. So like, you know, I'm just being myself, blah blah blah.
All right.
Yeah,
Matthew McConaughey, what happened?
I'm just like out with the guy, blah blah blah, and I just feel like you know, like they're not showing me like, you know, like wifey, like, you
the
know,
proper
like
amount of respect before they
you know, like,
try to
you know, like
move it
I'm
up.
looking for someone that like wants to build a foundation with me, like that, you know, like wants marriage, kids, you know, like I know I'm still young, you know, but like I want to have fun at the same time. I want like someone to like fucking love me and not fucking just like be like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm just, you know, blah, blah, blah. But like,
you hear that, baby? You hear that?
Fuck.
That's what I want too. I want to be cherished. I don't want to be just. I don't want to be used.
I want to be cherished. I want a divine intervention, you know, and I have that right now.
Beautiful.
So.
Armani, what is the most unattractive thing a guy can do or has done?
Okay, piggybacking off of what she said. Definitely lack of motivation, lack of ambition. People need to work towards goals. That's what keeps us alive. Because I'm such a hard worker, and I know what my goals are, and I work, I would want someone to match that energy. I hate someone who is lazy, who has no goal.
Yeah.
So kind of piggybacking off of what you said. Okay. And what you had said earlier kind of intrigued me, because it's like being around guys who only want to, you know, have sex.
Exactly.
That's frustrating. But I also feel like it depends on the type of vibe you give off, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you are super provocative. You have to learn how to contain that if that's not your intention.
Exactly. Well, I've been a model, you know, all these years. I got into it at like age 6, and I feel like, I came off as like, okay, you know, like at one point I was like, I was like in high school, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a model. So I did it. I manifested it, and it happened, and I went to LA and I lived out my dream. And then I feel like, you know, having social media now, like, you know, posting all my like, you know, content and everything, I feel like that, and then like men like in your DMs 24/7, like trying to like get my attention. It's just like, bro, like you want one thing. It's hard for me to trust men. I feel like
I get it. I get what you're saying.
It's hard for me to like trust.
It's hard for me to trust men, and none of them are trying to fuck me. Well, I mean, some of them are, but like, you know what I'm saying. Most of them are not trying. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Most men are not trying to fuck me. All right.
You know, I've had my fun times. You know, I've lived in the moment. Like I've had my fun share, and you know, I met a lot of cool people in industry, and it's just like, damn.
And if you don't mind me asking, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
what is your line of work? Like I forgot it. Like when we were talking about
I'm I'm an actress.
I know you said you modeled.
I model, you know, I was featured in Harper's Bazaar. I moved to LA when I was 19. So this is back in like 2017. And the first week I fucking was in LA, I was at a club with my roommate, and I was just like dancing on a table and like with my girl Haley. And we were just like, you know what? Like, you know, she had some friends at Loyola Marymount University, and we were going to some college parties. And we were just like dancing on a table. She was like, I'm gonna take you out. I was just fairly new to LA, you know. I was just I went to a private school. You know, I graduated early, moved to Milan, blah, blah, blah. But, like, before that, you know, like, I was just, like, partying and stuff. But, like, you know, like, when I was in LA, you know, the first person I met, it was just weird. Like, I just started meeting all these people. I went to, like, Dave & Buster's, and, like, I met, like, French Montana. A$AP Rocky came up to me. He's like, "You're so beautiful. Like, what's your number?" And I'm just like, I gotta go to the fucking bathroom. Peace out. You know, because I'm just like, I don't know what their intentions are. I've never really gave...
Yeah, I know what their intentions are.
I mean, I know what their intentions are now, but I'm just saying, like, my mindset at the time, like, you know, like, I wasn't really sure at what they were like, you know. I was just like, you know, I was young, I was 19, you know, I was walking around and just like, but yeah, I was just like, that one time, that moment in time, you know, with my roommate when we first went to LA, I was just like, fuck. Like,
do you
make
know, content? Like, is that, or did you like formally make content?
I was focused on more just like high fashion, like high fashion runway. I'm a supermodel. I would consider myself
She's
as
6'3".
just like, I would, you know,
6'4".
like, yeah, like, so, like, in 2016, before I moved to LA, I built this connection with this designer. I don't know if you know who she is. Her name is Candice Cuoco. And we were just, like, we, like, kind of connected through my agency I was working for at the time. I was doing high fashion. I was working for, like, Saks Fifth Avenue, and just, like, I did, like, a couple commercials. You know, I grew up doing, like, Old Navy, Mervyn's, and all that stuff.
I remember Mervyn's.
Yeah.
You took it back. You took it back.
Red, what is the most unattractive thing a guy can do or has done?
I think that women look to men for security, and not just like financial security, but mental clarity and security. So for me, it's like a lack of confidence, like insecurity. In a totality, because like women, I'm from a front, even just initially speaking, would be very attracted to a man that's like confident, but that can also be very like egocentric. So a man that's actually confident and not just putting on that front is a huge turn on for me. And you kind of know, I mean, you should know, just based on like, you know, reading his mannerisms and stuff like that, and getting to know him a little bit. But I just do not. I do not get with like insecure men. I can't be around them. I can't have relationships with them in any way.
If you don't believe in yourself, how the fuck am I supposed to believe in you? Sorry. But again, like confidence over cockiness for sure. Because if it's like too inflated, like I'm not dealing with your attitude.
Yeah, I was kidding. You're not 6'4". How tall are you?
5'11", exactly.
You're 5'11". Okay, I was kidding. I was just joking, guys. Guys are in the chat like, damn, she's 6'4".
No, literally with heels on.
Paris, what's the most unattractive thing a guy can do?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say it this way because I'm not gonna say it in a nice way. A man being a little bitch.
A little bitch.
Ooh, a little bitch. You know, feminine tendencies. You know, not
simp.
You know, like you know, like let's say a man wakes up this morning. Oh, I don't got no money. What am I gonna do? I don't got no money. Figure it out. It takes one thought. Find a way how to hustle,
Let's
how to
go
get
rob
some
somebody.
money. Not that initially. Like literally, like there's so much in LA. You don't even have to rob nobody. You know, that's the fact.
You can Riverside. You can sell some dope.
Not selling dope. You know, like we got taxes now in LA. Like there's so much to do. You know, get your ass up, think what you can make some money, and do it. So it could happen. Like, you know, just crying there, sitting there like, oh, I don't have no money. Oh, everybody's so fucking fake. Oh, I don't have no fucking money. Like, that's fucking annoying to me.
You're saying that a victim mentality turns you off.
It turns me fucking off because I'm not that way. You know, a lot had happened to me. You know, I'm a survivor. I almost died in 2013. I don't use that as like, oh my goodness, like life is so hard. No, fuck that shit. That's gonna make you tougher. So figure your shit out. Right. Find a way to make some fucking money.
Strong-minded.
Right, exactly.
So what I hear from all these ladies is that an abundance mentality is attractive and a victim mentality is unattractive. Interesting.
True. Yeah.
That's great.
That's interesting because, okay, so the title of today's show was like, what makes a man successful?
Right.
Because I was kind of springboarding this off of Fresh and Fit and Wes Watson and Andrew Wilson.
Yeah.
Right. Because one of the questions they asked was like, what is success to you? And all these guys are influencers and everything, of course, and a lot of them just sort of sounded this. A lot of the people who are on the panel, anyways, sounded. It was pretty much the same kind of canned responses over and over again. And I kind of wanted to put the question to you guys as well. It's like, and maybe this was sort of inadvertently the way to do that. Is what makes a guy successful? What do you think what qualities does a successful man have? And I think you just answered with one of those right there, which is having confidence. I would argue also that confidence is derived from options. It doesn't magically happen. You have to go bust your ass and create and generate options so that you can be confident.
That makes you uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, but
you get out of your comfort zone.
So that you have to do today what others won't, so that tomorrow you can do what others can't.
Yes.
And that's how you get that. You want to know how you gain confidence? You go out there and you bust ass and you create opportunities for yourself, so that when you get to that point, you can choose between the best options for yourself. Because an optionless man is a necessitous man, and necessitous men are never free. Right. So when I was looking at this, I'm like, I would have answered all these questions a whole lot differently, but I wanted to put it to you guys as well, since this is the title of today's show. Is what is, just like randomly, you can just rattle. Don't say the same thing, because you're probably going to say a thing, but like, give me like 2 qualities that makes a successful guy. And you can't say confidence, because we just talked about confidence.
So I was mentioning this in the break room, not giving a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck about no one's opinion, because at the end of the day, you can only validate your own opinion because this is your own life. If someone tells you, oh, you're not able to do this, fuck them. Do it anyways.
Perseverance.
Yes.
Red, what's a quality of a successful man?
So I don't know if we're talking in terms of like financial success.
However you want to define it, because they left it wide open.
Yeah. Because how I see success, like overall, and something that's going to like be in your life for long term and not just short term, it would be like, I don't know how to explain this, but some kind of a happiness stability. Like knowing that even if you fall on your ass and you lose all that investments and money and all that stuff, that you still have your ground. Because you can build an empire. You can have everything that you've ever aspired to have. You could have more than that. And you could be the most depressed person in the room. And that's what I think is really important for men to like kind of wrap their head around. Like, it's way more important to be happy and to be wholesome than to be financially off just because everyone says you should be.
Armani.
There's like a multitude of ways to define success. Personally, it just depends on the goal. Honestly, I feel as if it's like selective. It depends on what you define success as. Like,
what do you think men should define success as? In general,
overall happiness, finding the right person, building an empire. That's what I think success is. And it doesn't matter what level that's in. Rather you want to be on a farm, by yourself or with a partner, raising some cows. If that's your success story, that's your success story. There are bums who think they're successful. It's really a state of mind and a frame of mind. Or if you want to be a millionaire, as long as you work towards that and there's like an end goal, that's what success is to me. It depends on the goal. We can't just, define it in one way.
Yeah. I would say what makes a man successful is discipline and like knowledge, like being smart, about the way they move and, like just not, for example, like my fucking ex that like, just like didn't like, I'm not here to judge or anything, but like, just like.
Oh, we are. Go ahead. Please do. we judge here.
Okay, bet.
Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready to judge.
Are you ready to judge?
You are ready to judge your ass off.
Like,
Put a 1 in the chat.
Just like not like making me feel like fucking just like, yeah, you can't fucking go out, blah, 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 works at a weed dispensary. I'm not, whatever.
That's not success? Working at a weed dispensary?
No, that's a cool thing, like that's, it's his passion. But like, I feel like there's no like, I don't know, just, I feel like, yeah, fuck it.
Product placement. Jesse, what one quality?
One?
Well, how do you think men should define success and give one quality?
I feel like success isn't.
And talk into the mic.
Oh, sorry. I feel like success, like how Armani was saying, is not like defined one way. I think you become successful by not being afraid to fail, and then having the perseverance to like continue working towards whatever success looks like to you, even though you might go through hiccups, you know?
Right.
Because you only learn by doing it wrong. You know, that's how you figure out what works and what doesn't. It's just trying and trying again, and then one day it just clicks, you know?
Exactly. Same recipe.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is different, and, you know, everybody thinks that their
Into the mic.
success is...
Into the mic.
Oh, sorry. Their success looks different, but I think the most important thing is to basically have some sort of idea about yourself. I feel like a lot of men are just going through the life. They have no idea what they're doing. They're like, oh, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, but at the same time, they're not making anything to make those things happen.
Yeah.
So I think that just basically having an idea about yourself and what you want in life and how you want your life to look like.
How about this? There is a man who has money and a man who has the mechanisms with which to get money. If we had to start over, he could write books. I could create another program.
Probably will.
He can sell the shit out of stuff. It's not just that we have money, we have the mechanisms with which to make more money, but those mechanisms always deal with men solving problems. And those problems, the bigger the problem we solve, the more money we can make on a regular basis. So having those mechanisms of solving large problems, that to me is what success is. Being born with $50 million, you're doing good. I'm not saying you're not doing good, but that's not success in the same way.
What you have just described, and I haven't brought this up in a long time, what you just described is the attraction qualities of men who have creative intelligence. And what that means is this, and they've done these experiments like adjusting for like the physical attractiveness of the guy. They have like said, okay, do you find this man more attractive or this man more attractive? And usually it's a guy who has come into money and because of family or whatever, this is his character and his background, right? That has come into money, and he's a good-looking guy. He doesn't have much talent, but his parents, he's already wealthy, and is he more attractive than the guy who has a natural talent and made his money using his natural talent? And that was the first set of questions. Okay, the next set of questions was very similar to that. Is both of these people have come from a disadvantage. One of them won the lottery, and the other one had a lot of money, lost all that money, and then regenerated that money again. And in every single instance, and every time they sort of like rejiggered this whole experiment, it's the guy who has creative intelligence who is able to rebuild the village and rebuild the house after the tornado sweeps through there and breaks through the village, and he comes back and he says, you know what, fuck it, we're going to try it again. We're going to build an even bigger one this time because that's just how things are. That's how I'm discontent. Here's how I'm going to creatively deal with my discontent rather than destructively.
Creatively and learn from your mistakes. And another thing in the company we built, one of the things we did is we looked at the mistakes of the companies around us. For instance, there were several companies that were in our arena that did not pay their employees on time. So that was the first thing we did in our company. No one ever complains about not getting paid on time. People were messing with commissions. There were people making promises on sales calls that they couldn't fulfill. So those were the first things we attacked. I've talked to you before about the Lee Iacocca story, where Lee Iacocca takes over Chrysler, and what he does is he gets it so the assembly line has 0 fatalities, 0 accidents. Then when later on he has to negotiate with the union, labor union, he's negotiating from a place of strength because he's actually fixed some problems. And so that's the other thing. It's not just the creative intelligence definitely is one thing, but it's also learning from your mistakes and learning from other people's mistakes. And that's even if you're an OnlyFans creator or a fucking porn star, like you're learning from other people's mistakes. That's another thing that you can do do from this. Do we want to get to more chats or more videos?
Let me finish up these chats real quick. I got Rational Trucker here says, watch Stubber, funny movie about a beta male tampon and Uber driver who finally breaks out of the friend zone and moves on. Even when he says, I love you, she still says she wants to keep him as a friend. I've not seen Stubber. I'm not really sure what that is.
Neither of
Oh yeah, no, it's the Uber movie with the guy. Do you guys remember Silicon Valley, the Indian guy who ended up taking steroids and getting fucking super jacked? He's the star of it. The Indian guy from I remember this movie. Yeah.
Okay. Another one here, ladies. In your opinion, what is a one-word answer? What is in your opinion? What is the most shameful thing a woman can do?
Ooh, not have boundaries or self-respect.
Okay, Red. Shameful thing.
I don't know. You might have to circle back. I have to think about that one.
Okay.
Paris. Most shameful thing a woman can do.
Be embarrassed on camera.
Okay, there we go.
I don't give a fuck. That's all I gotta say. Don't give a fuck.
I think just not being honest.
Not being honest? Jess?
I don't know. I kind of agree with Armani. Like, I would say, like, not having self-respect, but I think self-respect looks different to different people. You know, like, I know I do, like, OnlyFans, and some people might see that as, like, me lacking self-respect, but I'm in complete control, so it's different to me than it would be from somebody else's eyes.
Right.
So I think the better way to word it is, like, what Armani said, not having boundaries. Like, if you know, like, this is your limit, or, you know, like, hey, this isn't something I wouldn't normally do, but you're going to do it anyways just to, like, appease somebody else, I think that's shameful because then you're not respecting yourself.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know. I'd have to really think about that.
I think it's interesting. Like a woman cheating on her husband never came up with any of the seven.
Yeah,
of
you know
these.
what? Never
No, that was interesting. Like, I just
Never infidelity.
that kind of would have been the first one for me. And you want to know something funny? If we had asked, what's the most shameful thing a man can do? I have a feeling that would have been the first fucking answer. Cheating on your fucking girlfriend.
Not necessarily. I thought we were talking about the woman as an individual or male as an individual.
Yes, I am.
That's why I bring up a partnership.
Yeah, like
because what she said
That's what my
about not being honest, like you're lying. That
Yeah,
is part
but
of
I was thinking.
and also but this lying in particular,
Now that we're circling back to me, I think I agree.
it affects the union and the children. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I would consider that to
I
be.
think if y'all asked the same thing about men, my answer would be the same. Like
Yeah.
a man that lacks self-respect
And
for
boundaries
himself.
and self-control.
Yeah.
As a man, control yourself.
I think my answer would be the same.
Boundaries.
Yeah, if I had a daughter and she got cheated on, I would think that'd be probably the most shameful thing. Unless he went to
Like,
jail for like
shameful
securities
for her?
fraud or something. Yeah, it'd be shameful. No, what he did was shameful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, all I was gonna say, like before you said anything, was like to be completely transparent is like so, on whatever it's called, lack of transparency, like not being transparent with yourself, not being transparent with people around you as a woman, and just appealing, like she said, to the norms of society or what everyone expects of you or everything else.
Yeah, but that's not OnlyFans isn't lying. That's the difference. Like I don't really like. I understand how some people have a moral ambiguity when it comes to OnlyFans, but like cheating on your husband is like there's no moral ambiguity there. That it's like you did not tell him you were going to go sleep with someone else.
Yeah.
You guys have a financial and legal arrangement together, and possibly children, and you may live in a place, and you screwed all that up.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying it's the end of the world. You don't need to go to prison for that, but. It's bad.
No, it's
that's my point. It's bad.
It's very shameful.
It's pretty bad,
Yeah.
and I can't think of much worse. That's the thing.
This is actually a pretty good one. Thrive, I got your second one here. I think this one sums the whole thing up. Have you ever regretted leaving a guy? If so, why? And if not, have you ever been heartbroken by a guy? I'll let anybody go.
I wasn't ever heartbroken by a guy. Like I said, I got married to my first boyfriend, so I really didn't have too many like hard experiences before getting to my first relationship. And what was the first question?
Have you ever regretted leaving a guy?
Oh, so yeah, I guess I can't answer that.
Yeah. Have you, Jesse?
I've never regretted leaving. I think I've regretted like putting up with stuff for too long.
Hold on. We're going to say leaving or cheating. Have you ever regretted leaving or cheating on a guy? Go ahead.
I think though at the end of the day, I just learned more about myself, so I don't regret the relationship in general. But probably stayed. I'm like the kind of person where like if I love you and we're in it together, like you could.
No.
Like I will stay by your fucking side up until I need to leave. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the kind of like ride or die kind of girl, which there's times where I probably shouldn't have been. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad about it. I learned a lot, you know? Like I learned what I need from a relationship, what I don't like, what to avoid. So at the end of the day, it's all just a learning experience. I don't think I consider anything.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable
amazing.
reframe. That's actually terrific. Go ahead, Brandy.
What was the question?
Have you ever regretted leaving or cheating on a guy? Have you ever regretted it?
You're like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
I mean, I have a big heart, I have a lot of sympathy and, no.
But no, but still no.
Armani, have you ever regretted leaving or cheating on a guy?
I don't have a lot of dating experience, and the long-term relationship I did have, I did not regret it because I truly believe that people are experiences. We're put on this earth to learn and grow from things.
Yes.
Kind of piggybacking off of what you were saying.
Yes.
We see each other, girl.
Red, I think you already answered this, right? You don't regret. Is there any guy you've ever regretted or regretted cheating or leaving?
I haven't regretted leaving anyone. I've left all my relationships, but I have heartbreak. I wouldn't call it heartbreak. I would call it growing pains. I have had one really bad one, but
that's crazy. Paris, is there any guy you have regretted leaving or cheating on?
I have not have one that I regretted leaving, but have I cheated? Yes.
Did you regret cheating?
Yes.
Why did you regret cheating?
Because I broke so many relationships because of that one cheat.
Okay. I will tell you right now, we've asked
It was an entanglement.
We've asked more than 50 girls this question, and that is the first time any girl has ever said that they've regretted anything they've ever done. Because the thing that I've noticed is that women never regret leaving a man. Ever. Like, it's like you guys have an evolutionary adaptation to, like, whenever you leave a dude, it doesn't matter how good he was or how shitty you were, and I'm not saying any of you were, but somewhere among the 50 of you I've asked, someone was shitty to their boyfriend, and they never regret leaving him. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. You guys have this incredible way of just like, and it was growth. It was like, I cheated on him. I cheated on him and took all his money, and it was a growing situation. I grew from it. It's just crazy.
I learned.
I learned from it.
Yes.
Right, definitely heartbreaks for sure.
Oh my gosh, incredible. All right, anything else?
Let's see.
Wait, what about you guys? Are you guys like? Have you ever regretted leaving a woman or cheating on her?
There's been a couple of situations where there was someone who was amazing in my life, and I regret the fact that I didn't like her more than I did because I wasn't ready to I didn't ready to settle down. Yes, for sure. That I've definitely had that before. Yeah. But then the other thing, like kind of what your answer is, all of it led to me being in a relationship now that I'm very happy.
You grew.
So you're
a better person for it.
There you go. I guess I grew.
So it's a journey of self-discovery.
I will say this. There are two relationships where I was in where I look back and I realize things that I did wrong. I'm glad they ended. I'm definitely glad they ended. But I can see parts where it's like, oh, damn, I made that really hard for her to date me. I remember one girl I was seeing, and I was just like, I remember taking her out one time, and I was like, oh, hey, this is my friend Crystal. And I was like, and I introduced her. I was like, this is Crystal. This is my girlfriend. And it was Crystal Hefner, like Hugh Hefner's wife. And we're surrounded by a bunch of fucking playmates. And then I just kind of realized, like, oh, that must not be easy for her. Yeah. I mean, I didn't think about it at the time, but later on down the line, I was like, I don't know if this is what she signed up for. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I can see how I could have made mistakes, but gosh, there's things I regret I've done to people for sure, but I don't regret breaking up. Probably, no. I just do. There's people where it's like they were good to me, and I really regret that I couldn't have done more for them.
Yeah. I have like zero regrets, but it's not I'm a tough guy or anything like that. There's things I would have done differently, but I don't regret like actually of the breakups I've had that I have initiated. I don't have any regrets about that. It's just I might have handled them a little different.
I don't think I would do anything differently, honestly, because I think I'm very appreciative of where I'm at in my life. And if I would have done things differently, then I would not be here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I love what I got going on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Like not to be like weird or anything, but like it's just like I had to make those mistakes to get to where I'm at. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what's interesting is like I get this question all the time, and you probably do too, and maybe even you. Like if you're doing like say MOA, or if I'm talking to a group of guys, I get this question quite often. It's like, Rolo, what would the 50-year-old Rolo say to the 18-year-old Rolo? Like what basically they're asking you what advice would you give to the younger generation kind of thing, right? Please just say that. Don't give me because the 18-year-old version of me would have told me to go fuck off. That's basically what I would have said. I'm dead ass serious. I would have said, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I know. It could be like you could make $1 million, like investing and stuff like that. I'm not, get out of here, old man. I would say, I understand.
Apple, Google, Tesla, Bitcoin, buy all of it. Everything you have. Yes. Sell your butthole to get money to buy Bitcoin. Sell it at $60K. You're good.
No Ethereum?
Huh?
No Ethereum?
Yeah, but whatever. Ripple. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Whatever's going to make you money. Yeah. But no, it's like I get this quite often. And but the things that I would say is like that you have to learn. You have to go through.
Yeah.
You have to go through shit to get to become who you are. Because I think a lot of people I've got 5 books. Okay, and in the first book, when you've got a bestseller, when you're making, people actually want to hear what you have to say. I was more thrilled about the fact that there are people who actually wanted to read my shit than actually making any kind of money off of it, which was fantastic. But when people ask me, they'll say like, what advice would you give to your younger self? And mine was go through all the bullshit that you had to go through to get there, because you would not be the same person you are if it were not for you going through hell, right? Yeah. Everybody thinks it, and I hate this too, because I'm sure anybody who's in sort of like the positivity, male self-improvement sphere gets the question all the time. And quite honestly, it's like they think you did everything right. How did you do everything right? What's the secret to the magic secret to your success? It's busting your ass, taking your hits, getting busted in the chops and coming back again and keep doing it and go through it, because if you don't go through that bullshit, you don't become the same person that you are. Yeah. So when people say, "Well, Roll, you did everything right," no, I'm the sum result of doing everything wrong, man. Like more stuff wrong than I did right, and I happen to get it right well enough so that I can do what I do right now.
Yep, I fucked up everything multiple times in my life, and that's why I'm sober. That's why I got into sales.
Right.
That's what led me to working for Michael. Everything that I fucked up led me to doing everything right.
Yeah. Experience is the best teacher.
Yeah, it teaches harsh.
Very.
Experience teaches harsh, but it teaches best.
Yes.
I fucking met Michael in 2017, right?
Was it? It was the Paradise Challenge, but was it 2017?
It was Paradise Challenge. Wait.
What year was it? 2017?
2018.
Yeah, maybe 2018 sounds right.
2018, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was wild. That whole trip was
wild.
Yeah.
Are modern women better wives for successful men, or will they always be a side chick forever?
Define
Well
a
done.
modern woman first. Like you have to define what a modern woman looks like.
That's somebody
Loves
who
Cardi B, 45 body count,
Yeah.
slightly
Wait, hold
obese. You know what I'm saying? Baby daddy by one. No, I'm sorry. My bad. Did I say that out loud? I was supposed to keep that to myself.
Why are we?
I think we should go to the next question.
Okay. Question for the ladies: what is the distinguishing feature between a man who has confidence and a man who is cocky?
Ooh, I love this question.
Right?
I love it.
Okay. Is it just how he makes you feel?
Exactly.
That's the difference between a confident guy. So a cocky guy can like trick you into thinking he's confident
No,
because it made you feel good.
No, okay, like yeah, it's like okay, a cocky guy can be like, oh yeah, I have confidence, but then it's just like, it gets to the point where it's like, you're talking too much of yourself. When is going to be a moment where you're going to give me a compliment of how I look? I dressed up, I put makeup, I put my nice outfit, and you have not once said anything of how I look, and you're just looking at yourself in the mirror like, hello.
Where's the line between cockiness and sexual harassment? What is the line?
I think confidence is like people already know, like you don't have to speak about it.
No, you definitely don't.
Cockiness is like when you're trying to sell it to people.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is what I got going on.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, okay, brother.
I'm the shit. I'm the man.
So cockiness is it's a lat flare, right?
Yeah. You don't have to sell confidence. Like people already see it on you. You know, cockiness is when you're trying to prove to everybody else that you got something that you don't.
Yeah, I think that confidence is built on something, on some experiences or something like that, and cockiness is just like less that, if you have a lot of money, you don't need to show it really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't give a fuck about it.
Think that, Mike? Do you think you don't need to show your wealth?
It depends. It depends if you're funny. If you're really funny and you have cool friends, and you're good looking, then maybe you don't have to show money. But for some other people, like money can help, but money can also hurt. Like the thing is, for everything, there's an inflection point. Like for a guy who's like 5'10", 5'11", it might help him to be 6'3", but once he's like 7'1", it like actually hurts him to be any taller. Actually, above 6'6", it actually starts to hurt.
Threshold.
There's a threshold. I think with the way you show money, it's like, hey, if he has like a beautiful loft in downtown in Manhattan,
you can figure it out for yourself.
right? And he has a beautiful loft, and then it's like everything is like really like antique furniture, but it's like beautiful, like well kept, and all this kind of stuff.
Then you know he's gay,
right? But he doesn't. But he doesn't. But he doesn't need like. But then he doesn't need like a Lambo and a Rolls, and like after a while, like it all of a sudden kind of like works against you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, now this guy just leads with money, and the same thing with physique, right? Women prefer men who are more muscular than average, but not as muscular as Arnold Schwarzenegger. So what happens is a guy will do gear for a fucking summer, and he'll get big, and then once he gets big, he's like, okay, I got twice as many compliments by doing 50 milligrams a week, so I'll do 100 milligrams a week the next year, and I should get 4 times as many compliments. And it doesn't work like that. That you get to the point where you start looking
Are you
like
saying I need to dial it back a little bit?
Maybe. You start looking like Rich, but what's his name? Rich Piana. Rich, what's his name?
Yeah, Rich Piana.
Yeah, Rich. You start looking like Rich Piana. It's like,
They're like
we're doing
the most
arm days.
insecure men.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can overdo it with everything. So money is that. Do you need money? I think you need enough money to where like dinner at Mastro's or STK is like a nothing. Like you don't even, the bill comes and you just hand them the credit card. You don't even have to look. That's enough money that you need. And then like maybe owning your car in your own name, like having enough income to pay off your debt, and probably owning some property. I think that's about the level of wealth you need. When you get past that, or the problem is as you select for more and more wealth, like when you have the yacht, you don't just get girls, you get girls who select for the yacht. And so now it's a subset of women, and some of them are very attractive, but they're also financial predators. And here's the other problem. And I used to tell, like, if you ever talk to a guy who's like a celebrity or like very, very famous, what'll happen is he'll have an amazing interaction with a beautiful woman. But the problem is, like, while he's like, oh, that was a great interaction, these like 4 big titty strippers move into the room and just push her out of the way because they're so much more aggressive and they're predatory and they understand what they're doing. They're like, I'm here to take it. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, and then the interaction he had with the girl, he just kind of forgets because the big titty strippers are like are pushing it. Like you understand what I'm saying?
They bully the nice girls out of the way.
That's exactly. I've seen it happen several times. So it's like you couldn't even tell if you had a great interaction with them in the first place because there's so much other stimuli that the guy's getting, and so that's where you get into those type of issues. So leading with money is like taking steroids. When you start taking steroids, you got to keep taking steroids to keep that physique. And when you lead with money, you always have to lead with money.
Yeah,
I don't know a single. I know hundreds of girls who at some point have ever either been like sugar baby, sugar whatever the fuck in some form or fashion, and I have never once, not one time in my life, seen a guy go from sugar daddy to fucking like hot sexual lover that she feels genuine desire for. It doesn't work that way. I've seen it go the other way. I've seen her have genuine desire for a man who becomes successful and he takes care of her, but I've never seen it go the other way.
Agent of Change says if she's attracted, he comes off as confident. If she's not attracted, he's cocky.
If she's not attracted, it's sexual harassment. It's sexual harassment. Me too. That's what happens. Okay.
Gosh, thank you for so many super chats today.
Yeah.
If all he wants from you is sex, you're with a useless man, or sex is all you're useful for. This is why masculine fathers and brothers are so important. They will help you figure out where the problem lies. Okay, thank you for the comment.
Wait, though, I want to say something about that
Sure.
because I don't think it's a bad thing if somebody only wants sex. I think it's a bad thing if they don't communicate.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Because there is guys that can go out to the club and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for tonight. And there are girls who are also like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Men don't realize that, but they have to be
Yeah.
honest about that. And I think as long as everything's like an honest and mutual thing, then it's not an issue.
So there's papers on this called sociosexuality, where people have like less discrimination on who they have sex with, or whether they can have sex without an emotional attachment. Men far more than women are capable of doing
because
this.
you guys have like little boxes in your brain.
For sure.
Women, we connect everything.
That's a great way to That's a great way to describe it. Yes.
We feel for every little interaction. I mean, there's definitely women who can think the same way as a man. Like, I'm not saying that like every single woman is like this or every single man is like this, because men can be like that too, where they attach feeling to like everything and they can't compartmentalize. But yes, most men do.
Women can have sex without emotion too.
They can. They can for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you think women come to that? Because for the most part, it seems to me that like women naturally associate emotion with sex, but they have to sort of push past that so that they can have sex without an emotional attachment.
At the end of the day, the similarities that we have with men and women, we have sexual desires, right? We have our needs. So that's why, a woman can have sex just because she needs to get off.
I
And
feel
that's
like
it.
that woman is
Yeah,
like
but she's still more selective than 99% of men.
Yeah.
Of course, because
Mhm.
you know we're a woman that has the box. You know,
Yeah.
we have the reproduction, whatever. You know, we have the box. We have
All right.
we have the upper hand to have more sex desires, more sex partners if we want to, because we have the box.
We make the choice.
Yeah. There's a difference like with coming like intimately and disassociatively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is there a difference
Yeah.
in quality and
Yes,
frequency,
absolutely.
intensity?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's qualify
absolutely.
this.
Oh yeah.
I will say, like, personally, for me, with sexual partners, I normally have to sleep with them on, like, several occasions before I could even come with them. But I think in general, as a person, when it comes to, like, sexuality, I'm very shy with. Not that I won't, but I feel like women kind of are taught from a young age that, like, we're performing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, we don't, like, come at it from, like, a direct, like, oh, this is a pleasure sport. We look at it like, oh, I'm performing right now. So it's kind of harder to make that connection of, like, it's okay for
you
me
need more
to
practice.
do it.
You need more practice. He needs multiple times to do it.
It's
Don't
not
get
even,
discouraged, Kyler. You understand? Don't get discouraged.
They could be really good at what they're doing, but just the fact that in my head I'm thinking about, like, oh, how do I look right now? You know, like, he could be
This
eating
is
my
true.
pussy and I'm like, what is he seeing from that? That's what's going through my head. And that's
Yeah, we're men. We're exact same way. We're like, yeah, I wonder what they're looking. No.
No, y'all over here like,
Don't care at all.
It's like from down there.
You guys want the secret of best sex?
No, we're enjoying the view and calling the Uber at the same time. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say that out loud.
are they looking
When I
at
say
down
that,
there?
I'm sorry. Please strike that from the record. Can we take that off?
No, it's true.
That's
But
terrible.
I 100% agree with you because it comes down to genuine desire. It comes down to like what is your level of arousal and passion for this one guy.
And like women can have high libidos. Like, I'm just gonna throw
Very
my,
high
I'm gonna throw my
libidos.
mom under the bus here. She's a little freaky freak. So she is the kind of woman that could do what you're talking about. Can just go out, have casual sex, come 18 times, and it not be a fucking problem. Like, my
and compartmentalize it.
yeah, she's like, to her it's sex, you know, like nothing more. But then she can also have like this like, and I envy her for this. I'm like, Mom, teach me your ways. But like, she can also still have like that emotional connection and have like that deeper level of like intimacy. But I don't know if y'all got tips and tricks on that. Please
That's what my
let me
husband
know.
and I have.
Shit.
That's me.
No, I think when you get to the point where you're not self-conscious and you can just sort
That's
of like
when you can do that.
So
Yeah.
I have this. Okay, this is just me spitballing here. I have this theory.
Yeah.
It's like there's only like 2 times in like a human being's life where they can really sort of get down like to the animal level,
Yeah.
and that's when you're having sex. And when you're fighting somebody, when you're like seriously, when you're like beating the shit out of you, like you're gonna die if you don't kill this other motherfucker. That's when you're really fucking honest.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. I've never been in a physical fight, so
Yeah.
No, you're too pretty.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it. Any girl that wants to fight you, they're hating.
Man,
That's hilarious.
You know, it will be a girl that's twice your size or uglier
every
than you.
time.
I'm just
Every
letting you
time,
know
I kid
now.
you
It could
not.
be any girl.
It's
I've never
crazy.
been
It's
one
like you're
either.
towering.
No,
over me.
every girl I fought was like twice the size or like a fucking.
Why are you looking at my man? I'm like, I'm not looking at your man.
No, it would look like a girl that looks like she's from the football field. Like,
I've
She's a fullback. She's a fullback.
All right, let me get to these. Derek Nelson, Sartain, you damn animal. Thank you, Derek, for the super chat. Victor Kelvin, have you seen Ty Lopez's latest video about men and women having sex and the correlation to bloated faces? Started watching his content because of you. I will definitely check that out.
I'm looking that up now.
For sure. How do you keep your dream man if hypothetically you had an accident and lost your box? Don't give examples which money can solve.
Thanks, Patrice O'Neill.
How do you add value outside sex? P.S. This man already has money. He don't need your help to make money. Real quick, ladies, how would you add value to your relationship if you did not have a vagina? Anybody?
Make his life easier.
Okay. Anybody else?
bring him peace.
We've heard this a million times.
bring him peace, for
Bring him peace. Anybody else?
It depends on what he values.
Not one of you said bring him other bitches.
Okay. There we go. Hilarious.
Peace can come with bitches.
There we go.
That's true.
Here we go. Victor Kelvin, you want to be a victor, not a victim. And then Siege D, as much as I enjoyed the chaotic panels, this is a productive conversation. Also, shout out out to Sticky Paw Studios.
Yeah.
Who's our producer tonight?
Who is that?
There's Chase over there.
Chase is back in the house. Big Chase. All right, I got.
Hold on, one more.
Okay,
Victor Kelvin, does Dan Bilzerian talk under the prey category? I don't remember what we were talking about before, but I don't know. Possibly. All right, go ahead.
All right. Okay, dude. 304s. Are your parents proud of you?
304s. That's a very, very rude title. But
Yeah.
304s.
We read them all. We read them all here,
What
ladies.
is that?
Listen, I
34? Because that's where I stay at.
It's different. It's different than an HO3, apparently.
HO3.
304 is a very promiscuous woman or a hoe.
All right.
I just know 3400. So
I'll move past that one. If she's attractive, he comes. Okay, I already did that one. To the girl next to Mike. The only reason, the only reason I ever broke it off with a girl who brought me lunch to work is because I found out she was cheating with me. Her boyfriend had 50 on Swola, 50 pounds on me. He put me in mortal danger. Well, thank you for your comment, friend.
I'm sorry.
That
sucks.
Boys,
You'll get
boys,
better.
is it okay
You'll
to?
live.
Is it okay for the guys here? Is it okay to want a woman? But if you need a woman, you're lost. You are welcome. Okay,
What?
that's a these guys.
These
guys are drunk as fuck.
yeah, they're high as fuck.
Okay, this I wanted to read this one. Okay, to women, tats are not sexy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Big
bye.
apologies.
Do you think they are? I always love it when we get this one.
You know my history. Like I don't.
Well, yeah,
I don't care.
I think it depends on the tat. Quite honestly, the first thing I said when you walked in through the door, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at your ink," because I'd seen you on Instagram already.
Just a disclaimer, I plan on getting more tattoos.
Full sleeve.
Anyways,
better.
but you know what? Like, if you're not into tattoos, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is allowed to have their own preference. Nobody is telling you, how dare you not be in. Like, I'm not over here like, oh, you don't like tattoos? How fucking dare you? I don't give a shit. Like, if you don't like my tattoos, that's okay. Like,
literally
we got
saying,
so
like-
many other, like, beautiful women here that aren't even, like, heavily tatted. Like, baby boy, you got options. Like, you're not like forced to like anything. And just the same as like nobody forced me to get these fucking tattoos because they're like, that is the only way you could be attractive. It's because I like them. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's all
like,
that matters.
And it's
okay
like
if
you're
you
not
don't like
dating
it.
every woman.
Yeah.
By the way, I
Yeah.
love the red ink. I
Thank
love the red ink. I have a
you.
red dragon on my neck. I love it.
Twinsies.
Now, I get this. We get this question quite a bit. Like we'll say,
Yeah.
"Oh man, tattoos on a woman are like bumper stickers on a Lamborghini or something."
Wait,
like that.
that's what Kim Kardashian said. And who
That
the
is-
fuck is she? And she has
I know.
what? Her pornography going out to her daughter's fucking Roblox video games.
She's a millionaire.
So it's like she shouldn't be talking shit at all.
Well, so we get
I
this.
also feel like it's like not fair to like, I don't know. That was like in her past, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I literally sell porn on the internet, so like. It's I don't know. I don't feel like it's like fair to like judge her for that. Like everybody is allowed to have their own
Oh
opinion.
no,
on what
they
think
judge her
is-
for it because she did it for free.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Wait.
I'm kidding.
Did her mom
I'm
record it?
kidding.
I want to know the truth. Did her mom record it?
Publicity stunt.
Oh, I don't know.
Did her mom
I
record
don't
that
know
video?
all the lore.
No, her mom
behind
didn't
that.
record the video. It was handheld.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. You've seen it several times. Just
Also,
go
I
ahead.
only seen it
We'll put
once
the
as a
video in the
child.
chat.
As
We'll
a
put the video in
child,
the
I
chat.
seen it
Her
once.
mom recorded
So
the
I
video.
wanna
That was
just-
just rumors. I
wanna-
only seen it once, right, as a child. So I'm just saying, like, I wasn't like repetitively just looking at it. Like, no, I seen it one time when it came out there. Like, oh my god, Kim has pornography.
Hey, she's a millionaire.
She can do whatever.
Why does it matter? She's doing better than all
I
of
don't know if
us.
she's a billionaire, but
Yeah.
Kylie is a billionaire. I don't know if Kim is a billionaire.
So
got it,
yeah.
Yeah, we get asked this quite a bit, like when it comes to like physical, like women are, oh, you got big tits, or you got like lip injections or whatever else, or they have tattoos or something else. And the thing is I think people like expect me to like agree with them, like, oh, tattoos are like a red flag on a woman.
It's
I'm like,
just
dude,
an
I said,
opinion
if you're
at the end
not
of the
into,
day.
if you're not going to get married in the first place, tattoos on a woman are a green flag, dude, because that's, I mean, because women who have tattoos tend to be more promiscuous, right?
Yeah.
They have done research.
Yeah, if you have
on
more,
that.
if you have more piercings and tattoos, 100%.
Tattoos, you
I think
think the
it's
women
okay.
tend.
Yeah.
By the way,
Do you want to know how much more here? Let's look it up. Keep going. Keep talking.
Yeah.
guys who have more tattoos and piercings
Yeah.
tend to actually be more promiscuous as well.
Interesting.
Yes.
I mean, like there might be like statistics behind that and stuff, but I don't think like that applies to every single person. You know what I mean?
No,
Just like
Like there's people that are on
percentage-wise.
like both sides of the spectrum.
Well, let me just clear clarify for everybody who thinks I'm on board with like, your puritanical bullshit. I came out of the late 80s, early 90s metal scene. I am 100% fine with it. However many tattoos you fucking have.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got a full body. Tasteful. I'm an artist by trade. So it's like, I like to see art. Especially if you're willing to put it on your body
forever,
permanently.
I feel like there's like a
that
level
was important
of,
enough because
like,
this is my family crest, right? It was important enough for me to put it on my body, right? So I'm always curious, like because every tat has a story. Every one of those damn things has a story to it.
There's definitely, I feel like, a level of like I don't give a fuckness attitude. For people that have tattoos, because like you can't like be like super conscious about what everybody thinks about you and like what everybody like perceives you as, and then get like a shit ton of tattoos. Like those just don't really go together well. But like, I could see like the promiscuous thing because there's like that certain level of like, I don't give a shit.
So you have memento mori right here, which is funny because all those stoic motherfuckers would be like, oh yeah, I know what that means. That's Latin. Let me tell you about. I got an encyclopedia on that,
Yeah.
But so you got that there. I presume that means something to you, and then you have like some text like right like on your belly. What does that say?
Should I like stand up?
You could show it if you want, but I was just wondering what it was.
It says the abyss stares back.
Now, why did you? Is that?
I like that.
Was
really
that
bad place?
Okay. now was that as a joke?
Was that allowed on YouTube?
Okay.
Hello, darkness.
Was that
my
quote?
old
Was that?
friend.
Mark that. That's the clip. Did you get that? Did you get that quote from the book Dune?
No, but I did watch
it's
the
in
two
Dune.
movies
That's in
that
Dune.
came out.
Yeah.
Dune is really good. I don't know
So
if y'all
good.
have watched it.
Well,
but I've enjoyed it so
why
far.
that? And why memento mori?
I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I love anything that's like creepy and weird, and just a little bit. I saw it on a Ouija board.
You saw it on a Ouija board. There you go.
And then like
Green flag, gentlemen.
I don't know if you're into like spooky girls. I'm here.
Yes.
If that's not your flavor, then that's okay, baby. Like go for something else. But like I am a little spooky. But that's okay. That's what I like, being odd, Like I do have like somewhat like an individuality complex, so I like being different than other people. Like
Just for the sake of being different, yeah.
Yeah, just for the sake of being my own self, Like I like.
Yeah, we're gonna
I have
compare
some-
notes after the show.
I have some creepy tattoos, but I like that shit. Like, you know what I mean? I also feel like it's a good deterrent. Like, if you like are not like an open-minded person, you won't like my appearance at all, and that's fine.
Right.
But like the people that come up and interact with me, they tend to be much more open-minded, much more carefree, less judgmental. Like.
More people you want in your circle.
Yeah, like I like hanging out with. Like, I don't give a shit what your opinion is. You can have something that's like complete opposite than me, and I'm still gonna respect you as a person.
So everybody has
but just the
reasons.
fact that you were okay with us being different, that just means a lot to me. You know.
I got one last one here. It seems likely men get attached more easily after sex these days, but more because of lack of options, not biology. Right?
Oh.
What do you think?
Lack of option, that's their fault.
I can't really speak on that because I'm not a man. So.
Do you think that's true?
More attached after sex?
Yeah. But more because of lack of options rather than actual biology, like oxytocin.
Well, I think the lack of options is part of biology, right? When we know, like 8,000 years ago, it was 17 women for every one man that was able to reproduce. And throughout history in total, it's about we've seen about 40% of men and 80% of women reproduce. So men have always, like the bottom 60% of men have always had to fight to have any sexual access. That's why encouraged monogamy started the true growth of society happened when we had encouraged monogamy.
Well, they finally get laid for the first time. And they're like, I want to keep repeating this over and over and over.
I
again.
think there's also like that level of like,
true.
if I hit it once, then I could probably hit it again. Maybe that's what goes into it, because it's like I've already broken the ice. So like this might be somebody that I can hit up in the future, and then we don't have to do like that bullshit small talk again. We already know we're on that level.
It could also be
Go back to the same watering hole.
And they're also well, there's this concept like with men. I don't think women have anything that you can relate to the idea of a man thinking of another man having sex with his girl. Like I don't, because the reason why I say this, I'm not saying women don't get jealous. They do. It's just you guys aren't committing murder at anywhere near the rate that men do for that reason. So I don't know that you can ever quite experience male jealousy. It's quite different.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the would you rather be alone with a strange man in the woods or a bear in the woods?
Yes. I've been trolling that on Twitter all week long.
Well, what did the women say? They'd rather be with
They would rather be with the bear because they think that guys are like they of course then they go say, well, it's because men kill women, blah blah blah.
We don't
It's
know
like they're
how
more dangerous.
It's not even about that. I think it's just like, okay, so what can a bear do to you? It can maul you, and it can kill you.
Torture you to
The
death.
amount of like things that a man could do to you, I feel
Rape you
like
and kill you.
some things like death is better than some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that's the argument.
I have
is that like
been-
they would rather die than like be locked up in a basement.
The
for
problem
10
is 100% of bears will kill you.
Yes. Yes.
99% of men will not sexually
Yes.
assault you.
Right.
Even like
Well, we don't
And
even
why-
know what kind of bear. It could be a koala bear, and then
Can
all
I
you get
just-
is
Well,
they're talking about
a
dangerous,
Like
evil
we're not
grizzly
talking
bear.
about all the different
Yes.
kinds of bears you
They're
could. like,
talking
see in
about
the
like
woods.
if it's something's gonna hunt you and kill you, which one would you rather have? And
Either
the
way, you're
facts
dead.
are like,
Yeah.
why would a man do that?
Okay, the whole
That's
reason,
like
the whole
insanity.
reason for this, the reason it's even a meme
I just
right
want
now.
to know what your guys' opinion.
I'll
is
tell
on it.
you. I'll tell you my opinion here in just a
Okay,
minute.
yeah.
But the reason it's a meme is because there was this viral video that was going around. This couple where I think they were in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee or something like that, or they were somewhere around there. And the woman goes up to, it's a bear, and she thinking that it's like a cute little cartoon bear or something like that, and ended up mauling her and killing her.
Oh,
right?
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what triggered this whole thing. It's like, well, I'd rather be around a bear than around the average male because he's going to go and throttle me or something. I will tell you this. Just last August, and you know where I'm going with this story. Just last August, I was in Lake Tahoe. I usually spend like a month there because I actually spend a lot of time there. But I was in the Tahoe Keys, and there are bears everywhere in Lake Tahoe, and particularly in the Keys. And I have been as close to a large brown bear as I am to Chase right now. And
Were
you get
pooping
the
your
fuck
pants?
out. I'm sorry. You leave. Get the fuck out. Yeah, you leave. And especially if they have a baby bear there, too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you don't fuck with bears.
Yeah.
Please don't.
all right, you want to try this one right here?
Okay, hang on. There it is.
Let's take a look at the screen, ladies
All right,
and
here we
gentlemen.
go, guys. Ready, Chase? There you go. All right.
I'm on a first date and I have asked you more than 5 questions in a row about yourself and you haven't asked me something. I'm telling you that I got a call and I need to leave. Like I cannot be, because I've been, when I was younger and insecure and didn't feel sexy and desirable and like worth somebody who's good to me, I did so much heavy lifting and so much working and trying to stretch myself and make. I would ask them a million questions. And I would put up with so much bad stuff. But then once I really went through like a journey of self-love and feeling like confident and like, no, I'm sexy and funny and nice and like a catch. Now I don't put up with any of that kind of shit. That's just deal breaker.
Oh my god.
Deal breaker is just
Like bad taste in music. Yeah. It's okay. So what would be the number one?
Also,
thing?
sorry, I completely was like, right. Let me answer.
Okay,
now.
actually, I'm like, and I learned to love myself. And you're like, music. Probably music.
I feel that 100% for sure.
You do it, girl. What is the biggest? What's the
hold on.
artist?
What do you guys think?
What do you think so
Go
far?
ahead.
Wow.
What do you
Are
think,
you
Paris?
serious? Everything that came out of his mouth did not project how he looks like.
There it is.
Okay,
So-
well, like let's take looks away from it and just talk about what he was saying. So he was saying like, okay, if I'm just
Jesse,
asking about you a million.
Can you really take looks?
I'm really looking at her. I want to hear what she's saying right now.
Honestly, though, like,
Honestly.
if we are gonna talk about looks, who do you think he's going on dates with?
Right.
Probably people that are in the same league as him. If we're breaking that down,
Same weight
that's
class.
who he's with. Well, whatever.
We're just making assumptions right now.
Like,
Some girls
we're-
like big boys.
You know what I mean? Like
We're making
he's probably
assumptions right now.
talking to people that are in like the same
Weight
whatever.
class.
Whatever
Okay.
you want to say, Tyler. But at the end of the day, what he's saying is like he wants like the energy to be reciprocated. You know, like let's have a back and forth conversation, not a one-sided
So
conversation.
let's add a little. Anybody else have anything you want to say about this?
Yeah. I was 250 pounds before, and I can relate to him in some way because there's a level where it just like right now, like just in a general place, how much people degrade you internally just based on how you look. And the whole thing is you don't know their journey, you don't know their life, you don't know what they've been through, you don't know why, you don't know for how long, you don't know any of these things. All you're thinking is, why don't you get up off your ass and go to the gym? It's not everything. And it's never going to be everything. And your life will always continue. And you're going to go this way or that way. But yeah, I think that it's valid to say, hey, I've been here the whole time and you're not. And so I should just remove myself.
Like you're obviously not as invested into the state as I am, so why continue?
Yeah, everyone deserves respect.
So that video went incredibly viral. And part of the reason why it went viral is because people didn't realize when he started talking that he's homosexual. They did not really. In fact, maybe you guys didn't recognize this. I had to go look at. I found his IG and found it. Now, see, it makes more context, but that's not the reason why it's interesting to me. The reason why it's interesting to me is because if that was an overweight woman, it wouldn't have gone viral, and no one wouldn't have given a shit. No one would have said anything. If an overweight woman was on there like, I'm just like, if you haven't asked me about me after 5 questions, I'm just going to get up and leave. They're like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about what women would do. But because it was a fat man doing it, we are freaking out about it. It is so crazy to me. It's like, because here's the other thing. You remember when you were talking about, it's okay if a man just wants sex?
Yeah.
It's okay, but here's the thing. It's okay. Have you ever seen a man who just wants sex and you're like, you aren't deserving of just sex. You're not hot enough for that. Has that ever happened to you, ladies? Where it's like you would do it short term if the guy was hot enough, but it's not. Well, actually, I probably have the wrong audience to ask this to. but like that's the thing. It's like part of the thing is like if that guy was good looking enough, I think people would be like, yeah, that's fine. Like I don't have a problem with it. But because he was overweight, everyone's like, I can't believe you have the audacity to say that.
Yeah.
And I got bad news for you, dude. There are gay men watching this who think that you're out of your fucking mind, too.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like what he's talking about is just having like respect for yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Like if you're not as invested as I am, then I should not be putting my time into this. And I think that is like the fucking moral of the story.
But I don't. Here's why I disagree because I've been on hundreds of dates with beautiful women. When I go on the dates, I am the one asking them questions about themselves to get them to talk, and then it's a successful date. And they rarely have ever asked me fucking anything about myself.
Want them to ask?
But I don't care. But I'm a man. I don't care. That's not how it works.
That's you personally.
No, I will tell you, most men who are good at dating know that if you get a woman to do most of the talking, you're going to have a successful date. In fact, there was a study done where they did speed dating in the UK, and they started transcribing all the conversations to see which one of these conversations led to a second date. And the most common indicator was if the woman said me or I 7 times.
But that's successful, meaning like you get her in bed?
No, successful meaning it led to a second date.
They get to a next date.
To a next date. If the man said me or I 7 times, it had no correlation whatsoever for a second date. But if the woman said me or I, meaning she was talking about herself, she was more likely to go out with the guy again. Yeah. So it's not the same. Our
like
evolutionary biology is different.
Also, too, like generally, the like women's like what they consider like dateable or not, like the bar for that is in fucking hell. So like if you have like a dude who just shows you a little bit of like care and interest, then you might be more likely to go on a second date because not a lot of dudes are willing to put forth that effort.
Yes,
so I think the advice here would to be yes, act interested, ask her about herself.
Yeah.
You will be more
Learn
successful.
pickup artistry.
So yeah, the other point was though, like me and Tyler wouldn't give a shit. Like if you didn't ask us about ourselves, like
she doesn't need to know a single thing about me.
When me and you first met, I asked you a million fucking questions about yourself.
Ooh. Yeah, unless you know about me.
Yeah, because you were trying to seduce him. I get it. No, it's
I was not. We've like hung out several times after the fact. We've gone to raves and had a fucking amazing time. Like because I have like my own like rave family friend group, and he's been a part of it, and it was awesome. But when I'm like curious about somebody and I'm like initiating some kind of relationship, whether that be a platonic or sexual relationship, maybe that's just me in general, but I want to know every fucking detail about you.
I think the thing is it's nice, but it's not required. Like if somebody doesn't ask me questions about myself, I don't care at all.
If a woman is physically attractive to me and we have a good time together and she laughs at my stuff and consistently like encourages me to keep moving forward, I don't give a fuck if she asks me how my day was.
Yeah. For sure.
It's
like it's also too like what you need as a person as well. Like if you don't need like somebody to know every little detail about you, like that's not what you consider a successful relationship, then that's not important to you.
Yeah, also like guys,
breadcrumbs.
And that's okay.
The truth is, man, if you won't need your girl to become your therapist, she's not going to be your girl for very much longer. That's you got to learn that the hard way. Okay.
Wait. We got Paris is down there just chomping at the bit.
Did you want to say something?
Do you agree with any of this? You're like there. Wait a minute.
Okay, so I was doing a lot of facial expression because
this guy's fat.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not talking shit about fat people because I was fat too. I was 200 pounds. So like, did I do something about it? Yes. Did I cry and sit there? Oh, I'm fat. No. Like, I was close to getting diabetes. So that's what really like woke me up and like started hitting the gym and drinking more water and having a strict diet. And I hired a professional trainer. So like,
there you go.
I don't like sympathy. I don't like petty. I don't like that. You know, like
I don't think
everybody.
Oh, he doesn't want your sympathy, and it doesn't look like he has any intention of getting skinnier either.
The
So.
conversation wasn't about him being fat. The conversation was just about showing.
Well, okay, so let me see if I can throw my 2 cents in here too,
Okay.
because I kind of halfway agree with you.
Okay.
Is the reason why you have that sort of visceral reaction to this guy talking like this is because it seems like he's entitled to this level of respect that his appearance doesn't necessarily merit.
Yes.
So if the guy is overweight, then here's a real, maybe you want to try this, lose some weight, and maybe then you will have people who are more interested in you to want to have a more, want to ask you about questions about you on a date.
Yes.
Because they may have seen you on, well, in this case, Grindr, to say that if you want to have some sort of respect, or you got to be congruent with the way that you look versus what you can actually realistically expect in the dating market, whether it's homosexual or heterosexual, right?
Yes.
If you're in the sexual marketplace, women and men, I guess in his case, are looking for congruency, okay? So does the guy's appearance, the way he handles himself, is his behavior, is his mannerisms, is that congruent with what his expectations are? And in this case, the reason why we're like, this and why it goes viral is not because of what he was saying and not because he doesn't deserve, respect or whatever else. It's that he is a guy that looks like that is incongruent with what he is saying are his entitlements and what his expectations are. And that's why we have that visceral response that you had and I had too.
Yeah, and I do apologize. I didn't mean to offend no one, but I'm just listening and I'm looking. It didn't
We said, judge, please judge more. We want more judgment on this show. You want that?
Yeah, ready? Everybody's going to want to pay attention to this one.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your dicks here.
Yep.
Honestly, I think that selling your body, like if we're going by that definition, being in the army is worse than being on OnlyFans. Wow. You're selling your body to the government.
Damn it.
She had a point. I'm not gonna cap. She had a point.
Anybody
She
have
had
a feeling here? Anybody want to say something about this? No?
She had a point.
I think anytime you work, you're like kind of selling your body
Yeah, I
because you're
always said
selling your
that.
time,
Yeah.
like
Labor.
whatever the labor is.
Yeah.
Like, anytime you clock in, you're selling your body.
You're selling your soul. You're selling your body.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
the big difference is.
What if I'm outside chopping wood?
Might have to start DJing.
Stop it.
But no, I think to like any extent when you're working for somebody and you're getting paid, you're selling your body.
Selling yourself
Guys,
is
do
a very...
you think I joined the military for me? I didn't join the military for me. I joined the military for you motherfuckers. That's why I joined the military.
So you were selling yourself to all of us.
Yeah, but no,
and I
my
appreciate
point
you
is
so
there
much.
is there is a reason to join the military other than to fucking whether or not you're selling your body to the government. I'm not selling my body to the government, but I'm selling my body to a military that created a safe bubble for Mia Khalifa to say bullshit like this. That's the point. She wouldn't even have the ability to say this fucking nonsense if violent men had not carved out this safe cubbyhole for her to say shit like this.
And
that's the difference.
You joined after 9/11,
Yes,
right?
right
Like,
after
you were
9/11, yeah.
inspired to like go to fight for freedom.
Yes, but I didn't join. You think I joined for me? I didn't join for me. I joined for you. Like, what the fuck is? That's why what she's saying is emphatically incorrect. That's the only part. I'm not offended. I don't expect. Like, the thing is, it's like certain people we get offended by their comments when they're actually suffering from mental illness, and Mia Khalifa is one of them.
Clearly.
No, sorry, I mean she's suffering from mental illness. I'm not going to take what she has to say.
I got the chat. The government fucks you harder than any Mia Khalifa porn star could.
That's funny.
It's true.
That's funny. All right, you want another one?
Yeah,
Let's keep going, man. These are great. I knew you'd like that one. What is this one? Hold on. Is this the video?
No, that's hold up. I have that one. Where'd you go?
Okay, this one has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. He's just amazing that this guy actually, Jesse Lee Peterson, actually exists.
Okay. Let's see. I think that is.
You guys are going to want to watch this one.
We're waiting.
I know. I'm trying to pull the right one up here.
I believe in you. You got this.
Mornings at 3:30. Is that the wrong one? Okay, hold on a second. Oh, did you like that? We got that other one. Is it this one?
Yeah.
That one.
What's wrong with the blacks?
With every black person or the black community?
Not all, but most black people What's wrong with they seem to be out of control? Do you ever see any blacks?
Yeah, I have a couple of black friends. Most of them are African American.
Are they like white, acting black, or are they black?
I have black friends who are also African American.
How can that be? He can't be both.
Why not?
How can...
Wait, I've seen this kid. I've seen this kid before.
Yeah, that kid is. I've seen him on like street interviews where he's like, I think it's kind of like, what you call it? It's Complicated. I think I've seen him on It's Complicated.
Probably,
before.
yeah. I don't know. I thought it was really funny. Jesse Lee Peterson has just been doing this shit for so long. He thinks there was no such thing as racism and that slavery was a good thing. And there's a black dude who says this shit, and I still cannot get over the fact that he still gets people to go on his show. And my sales team is begging me to go on his show. They want me to go on his show.
I've been on his
Yeah,
show
you
before.
said you've been on his show.
I would love it if you went on Jesse.
Oh my God,
Jesse Lee Peterson.
hilarious, man. Okay, we can do this one right here, or this one. Or this one. This one's pretty funny. Or this one. Any one of you want.
Let's go back to that other one since you guys knew what that one was.
Yep.
Here you go.
I get up like some mornings at 3:30 in the morning and just pop straight to work and have all this fun stuff that I'm working on, and like I just sit there even though my cat just took a dump on my rug, and I gotta stop everything because this cat had the audacity to dump in front of me on my rug, and I gotta stop and work to clean it up. I think to myself, man, what a life. Like, you're not like, how did this cat end up getting into this position? But like every bit of the human experience is more vivid and enjoyable, all the way down to a cat dump.
What's wrong with the blacks?
There we go. That's probably a great way to fix that. All right, so here's the funny thing. I had actually said this exact thing on my podcast, and somebody sent that clip to me. I rescued a little black cat named Ellie, and she doesn't like to poop.
Void.
She doesn't like to poop where the other cats poop. So if the other cats poop before her, she poops right in front of my toilet every single day. And
She's trying to be just like you.
Yeah, she exactly. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, how grateful I am the fact that I got to rescue this like little beautiful black cat, and I clean up her poop every single day. And I watch that, and it's just like a kind of a commentary on gratitude. The fact that I am not like struggling for a place to eat, like food to eat, and a roof over my head and a bed, and I have friends who like me, and I live in a time of telecommunications and artificial intelligence and fucking antibiotics. Like I live in an amazing time. And so I just thought it was exactly the same thing. It was I have this one 22-pound cat that comes and crawls on top of me when I wakes me up, just steps on my head. And I'm just so grateful to have that thing. So anyway, I like that video. That video really touched me. Did you have another video?
Yeah, I'm going to give you Chris Williams.
Okay, let's do that.
The dating advice for gurus online seems to boil down to just be successful, bro. Given that women rate 80% of men as physically unattractive and 50% of men are below average intelligence, what's the advice for those 40% of men? The bar is set unbelievably low. Like the average American man is obese, divorced, and with less than 1K in the bank. I think that the internet over-indexes on objective metrics of success and doesn't account for what happens in person. You will see regularly people and guys that are charismatic, funny, sexy in person, batting way outside of their league if you were to just look at them from an online perspective. Basically, I would say don't overthink what the internet says. Dude, if you go to the gym 3 times a week for a year, you're probably in the top percentile of all fitness people on the planet. If you spend $300 on a relatively okay wardrobe, you're probably better dressed than most of the guys that you're going to walk past. Just try a bit and you will already be probably a 6 or a 7 out of 10.
I'm curious, what do you think about this?
Do you think guys need to try harder? Because I put this one in here because we've been joking about this the whole show, which is like, well, it seems to me like a lot of the people who are very anti-red pill right now online are just saying, well, the solution to this is to just get out there, just go out and put yourself out there, go out and approach more, go talk to girls live, go clean yourself up, take a shower, get a $300 wardrobe, go out there and make an effort. Which, by the way, ironically, is exactly what pickup artists have been saying since the mid 2000s. Yeah. So suddenly all this anti-red pill stuff comes full circle, and now we're back to where we were. But I wanted to point this out, and I wanted to pose the question to you guys: is do you think that guys just need to actually get out there and make approaches and try harder, and that would, in some way, I guess, ameliorate the 40% of guys who are actually, still single and sexless? Do you think that is it better for them to do something like that? Is that the cure, or is it go to the gym and just stay in the gym, or gross out in any of like money, muscles, and game, gross out in one of those, and hope to God that that's going to be what gets you the girl?
I think you just gotta get out there. Like any of my guy friends who have ever asked me for advice on how to get girls, I'm like, create like a girlfriend group to touch like back on what you were talking about with like the strip club managers. Like they're surrounded by beautiful women all the time, so they're a little bit desensitized. So I think when you go out there and you make friends that are women, friends that you have platonically that are hot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can interact with them in like a friendly way. Then when like somebody comes up, like, because women will let you know when they're into you. They're not shy about it. Like they'll come up, they'll say something saucy to you, and then they'll run away giggling like a little schoolgirl. You know
Women
what I mean?
who are into you will not confuse you.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I think just like going out and like having more interactions, it's kind of like the numbers game, you know what I mean? Like if you interact with 100 women, what's the percentage of like, say like only 5% of the women you talk to will actually want to have sex with you? Like I'm just throwing out random ass numbers here. There's like nothing backing this. But if that is the percentage of women that want to sleep with you, if you talk to 100 women, then you have 5 women that want to sleep with you, versus if you talk to 10 women, you might have 0. You know what I mean? So it's like a bell curve, just going out there, being social, interacting, learning how to have healthy, positive interactions. I think that's what.
So this is a discussion that happens all the time, and Destiny was the one who talked about this. If you just go out more, you're more likely to have more sex, and I don't disagree with that concept, but I disagree to the level to which that counts against, like, say, having status or being good looking, being wealthy, having charisma, having pre-selection, mate choice copying, other, people finding you attractive, all these other different things, having high status. And the reality is, let's just take 2 different people. We'll take Harvey, who lives in New York. He's an attorney, like Harvey Specter, right? He's an attorney who lives in New York, and he makes $2 million a year, and he's really good looking. And then Larry, the cable guy, he lives in the fucking trailer park, okay? Larry and Harvey may both have 5 sexual partners in a year, but Harvey is going to have way more attractive sexual partners than Larry is, and that's where the difference is. Where the difference is like you haven't got women solved out. You have not got your women problem solved if you keep having sex with women that you don't find attractive because you're drunk enough to like fucking let it go. It's funny, Tyler's smiling. I don't know why. You haven't got women solved because you got that thing because you're having sex with women you don't find attractive. You have women solved when you are having sex with women you do find attractive. And in order to do those things, it's not just go out more. Yeah. In order to do those things, you have to improve, which is a function of status. And women choosing men who have higher levels of status is hypergamy. For those of you who have a question about that, because hypergamy is real no matter what anyone tries to tell you.
Define that for me.
Hypergamy, it means
alpha fucks beta bucks.
Hypergamy in the Oxford definition, it has to do with women choosing men who are at a higher socioeconomic education and income level. That's what it means. Okay. But we hear that's the
expanded definition.
That's the denotative version of it. The connotative from the rational male has to do with everything from height, all these different type of things.
Sex, arousal, attraction.
Yes.
So we simplify it as alpha fucks beta bucks, or alpha seed beta need, meaning that the women have a dualistic mating strategy, which is they're looking for a guy who has protection, provisioning, and parental investment. The good guy, the guy that's the good dad, right? The guy who's going to be there for the long term, the guy you want to marry, and the guy you want to fuck. The guy who's the alpha, who's the bad boy. We were just talking about this just not too long ago. There's the fuck boy. There's the guy who's, we've got to run through all these guys in my whole phase from 18 to 28 until we get to where suddenly we're found the right guy miraculously and her soulmate on whatever podcast. And she's talking about how she had to run through all these guys before she got to the guy that she's not really all that into because they weren't as exciting as that guy. But that's the dual side of it. So there's the alpha side, the arousal, the visceral, I want to fuck this guy, versus the guy who he's a good dude, still very, still attractive to him, but he's not as exciting as the other guy because he's a better bet for the long term, being provisioning, protection, and parental investment. So there's the alpha side and there's a beta side of that. And either one of those, I hate it when we put these things into good and bad. They're not good and bad. It's just 2 different qualities. There's the guy who's the dad and there's the guy who's the cad. That's what I keep getting into, and that's what people keep trying to redefine and go back to reinventing the fucking wheel over and over and over again. And I want to point this out also when we're talking about getting out there and like say, hey, just go out like Destiny or whatever, this moronic idea that all you have to do is just walk out your door and you're just going to bump into 10 or 12 women who just want to fuck you. The fat guy that was in that video just a little while ago, you're not going to tell that guy, just go out the door and just try your best, bro. No, you got to be better before you go out there.
The context that is missing is that you will sleep with more women.
Right.
You will just not be attracted to them, or they will, like in my 20s, I called it an 80% solution. I could always meet girls that were 80% of what I wanted. And then later on, it wasn't until when I got out of the military till I was with women who were 100% of what I wanted. So that was the difference. I do, if you got a chance, if you want to go to the tweet that you had about Alex Datesyke and the DHS?
Yeah, let me,
because I'm going to ask you the questions that William Costello asked me.
Let me call you up real quick here.
All right, guys, this is going to be a little out of context for you guys, but there was a study done recently on incels by a researcher at the University of Texas at Austin, Hook'em Horns, William Costello. His thesis advisor is Dr. David Buss, who's one of the people who I quote probably more than anyone else. And then Dr. Buss, William and Rollo had a little tiff online, and so we're going to discuss that.
Well, it's not even so much a tiff. He just simply asked questions that he just simply didn't want to
So I'm going to ask. So first off, real quick, can you pull up the
I got it right here.
Can you put it up on the screen real quick?
Yeah. That's right. It's all ready to go.
Okay,
I'll just read it for you.
Yeah,
real quick.
go ahead.
This is, I said Alex is a DNC shill. PACs like Progressive Victory started buying influencers last year, which they did. It's why Not So Erudite ran interference for Alex when Bex pressed him on the funding for that Alex Costello's shoddy incel research last May.
Okay.
That's the one you wanted. Okay.
Now, first question from Alex. He sent me that tweet, and then he asked the question. Ask him to clearly state what his issue is with the study and what exactly he claims about our funding. Exactly.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so here's the first thing is getting into the study itself. First of all, it's only done with, according to their study, is only done on incels.co. That's the forum that they went to. Okay, that has a user base of right around 4,100 or 4,600 people. Okay, so that is not a representative sample of like the large, by and large. There's probably other people who self-identify as incels. The other thing is that incels.co, where they went to, that right there was, I wish Bex was here to help me out with this, but that is where the DNC and where there has been counterterrorism, let's say, plants in that forum. Okay, so the idea is this: is that they're going to a forum that is already a closed system. It's already guys who already identify as incels. On top of that, they had to pay these guys $25 so they would participate in the thing to begin with. Now, I understand that other, let's say, experiments and other research, it's not uncommon for them to pay participants. Got that.
That's what I was going to say.
But they pay them live at the college, at the university that they're doing it. It's not an online thing where they say, okay, give us your personal information so that we can pay you this $25 in the first place. So the concept or the innovation of paying somebody to participate in a research study like this online is something that's very, very new. It's very, very questionable to begin with.
They didn't hide it that they were doing that.
No, they did. But here's the thing. Where did the money come from so that they could pay that? So that was one question that he wasn't willing to answer.
So he answered that for me. So before we get to that real quick, was there anything about the results of the study that you had a problem with?
I had a problem with the methodology.
Okay, so there was nothing in the results.
The results seemed like they didn't have a clear idea of what they were testing for. The academic rigor that went into this was not. I don't know if you know anything about academic rigor, but what it is like they have to decide whether or not the study is formed and created to test for what they are trying to find in the first place.
Okay.
That was very unclear, first of all, and then second of all, it doesn't pass the rigor test in the sense that it's a snowball sampling. That's number two. That's a very shoddy way of I would have to get into a very long conversation about about research methods, but it was called snowball sampling. Okay. So my main problem with that study is like the results. To me, I don't even care about the results because the actual
I didn't see anything in the results that I was like, this is way off board.
It's what you're expecting, but the problem is that the results of that what's now settled science, or they want to.
I don't think anything with 4,100 people they would consider to be settled science.
No, it's
one
not.
Of several different experiments.
When Forbes magazine is quoting it, and when Tim Pool is quoting it, and when Chris Williamson is quoting it, and they're putting it out there as if it's fucking settled science, it's settled science to everybody that's on Twitter. Okay, so that's number one. The other thing is this: is as a result of those results and of the findings in there, that is what the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, has used to determine that incels are a terrorist organization. That's a big fucking problem that I have with it.
Okay, second thing he's hinted at suggesting it's DHS funded or something. Is his claim our research is rigged to make incels look good or bad? You just said no. Our funding is disclosed in our paper at any time we've had.
Exactly, and that paper has been changed twice already.
Okay, but so do you have an issue specifically?
So, if you want to look where the funding comes from, it's swansea.com, SWANSEA.com.
Okay.
So I already know exactly where it's coming from.
Is his suggestion, I'm involved with this diverging hate group that BX is banging on about, literally zero involvement there? That's what he's saying.
I don't know exactly what he's trying to.
Diverging hate there was some group called Diverging Hate.
Diverting Hate.
Diverting Hate.
So Diverting Hate is the NGO that is part of the McCain Institute that is right out of ASU.
Okay.
Which is directly funded by the Department of Homeland Security. The first time I became aware of this was when I was on the Dr. Phil show and I was going up against Imran Ahmed. He's like the director of another NGO that does something very similar to what they're doing. They wanted to claim the scalp of Andrew Tate back in August of 2022. What they are is they're a non-governmental organization that is paid by either the UK government or the United States government, depending on which one it is. And what happens is they can bypass laws by funding these NGOs to do what the DHS would rather be doing, but they can't because of laws. So what happens is you get I think his organization was the Center for Controlling or Combating Online Hate. I think that's what it was. That was the first time I became aware of this because he was trying to throw it at me, because I was supposed to be like the mentor or something of Andrew Tate during the Dr. Phil show. You think you already remember that.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm looking at this, and what happens is these guys have to go and they have to do make work. They have to prove that they're actually doing something. The Divert Hate group that Bex and I've been sort of banging the gong, and Aaron Clary have been banging the gong about right now, is that guy, or the Diverting Hate organization, is deliberately and openly diverting our traffic, your traffic, this show's traffic, Aaron Clary's traffic, to approved masculinity sites, because they have already determined that we are sexist, misogynist, and everything else that goes along with that.
Two different things. Your issue with the study on incels. One is that you think that the pool was too narrow. You don't specifically have an issue with the findings of the study, but
my issue with the findings of the study is that they're being used as settled science for Forbes magazine and for the DHS to designate incels as a terrorist, homegrown terrorist organization.
But William Costello did not designate incels as a terrorist organization.
But here's the other thing: is
people are using his paper.
Here's my counter question to that. If that's the case, then why is his associate, Dr. I think it's Andrew Thomas, doing exactly the same incel research in December of the same fucking year? Why is that? What did they not find in the first one in May that they would find in December?
Well, we'll see. But my thing is, we see studies replicated all the time.
By the way, also within 8 months of each other, and it's the exact same one, and they're also paying the same, using the same database, using the same form, paying them $750 now. I guess inflation, right? So they're now paying them $750 to participate in this. You heard once I started banging the gong about that, you don't hear anything else about that. In fact, probably nobody who's watching the show has heard anything.
Okay,
about this.
so and then the other part that I think maybe the context that William doesn't have is the idea that you've been put on a DHS watch list.
And I'm not the only one.
Yes, because of the content that you've been making. Right. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure maybe William wasn't aware of that whole thing. Because
here's the other thing is the part that gets even darker about this is then you've got Alex from Date Psych, and then you've got Chris Williamson. Chris Williamson. Essentially being affiliate marketers for this, trying to recruit, and not so erudite, by the way, who is involved with Progress Victory and is involved with the DNC politicalization of this shit. So you've got them in their tweets during May of last year recruiting, basically putting the word out there because they got such a low response rate that they need Chris Williamson, who, by the way, broadcasted this as settled science once it came out. And then you've got Alex from Date Psych, who is doing exactly the same thing. In fact, their tweets are so similar they could have been copied and pasted.
So let me say one thing. If they're watching an idea but might not to be, call it an incel study, because incel literally means involuntarily celibate, but the word itself, the short version of the word, has become a pejorative. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, so how do you get away from that when the only form you're sampling from is called incel.co?
Right. So that's the issue. Like, for instance, there was a point where I did 2 deployments into the Middle East, and I came home for a couple of weeks, and during that time period, I had no sex with women because I was deployed in the Middle East. Okay. And during that point, I was involuntarily celibate, but would have never considered myself an incel. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, no, this is a suggestion for like Chris Williamson, date psych, William Costello.
I have another suggestion for them as well. Here's the thing: is if you're going to, why on earth would this, especially now, I'm also questioning the timing here. Why on earth would this be so important during an election cycle as well? So, and the reason I'm saying that is because of divert hate and because of the politicalization of influencers such as Destiny, such as Jasmine Jafar, such as Farrah, such as the people that you interviewed today. Is what they're saying their own words, or are they putting the words in their mouths because they're paying those influencers to propagandize the Democratic National
to be devil's advocate, William Costello does not get to choose when he becomes a PhD. So, like, he's got to have a PhD thesis at some point during. So the fact that it is now, I don't know if that necessarily corresponds with the upcoming election. But I do where I do agree with you. I don't think William Costello is saying that or his study is saying that incels are terrorists. I do think that people who already had the notion that incels were terrorists used this study in order to back up what they're believing.
So here's the greater problem: is that what they're saying essentially with these studies is that guys like me, guys like you, guys who are in the male self-improvement communities are radicalizing these incels to go become the next. By the way, we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of Elliot Rodger and all of like the handful of these guys who've actually taken it to the levels of actual violence.
I agree with you that diverting hate does that. I don't think that William Costello does that. That's the difference.
If he isn't, he's doing it inadvertently for people who want to use it so that they can say that it's these red pill sons of bitches who are going out there and radicalizing these guys so they'll go out and kill women. That's essentially what it's coming down.
Okay. All right. Got it. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Hopefully, at some point during the summer, we can have William come out here.
Anytime.
For sure. I want to go out to Austin and have some Stubbs barbecue. Actually, that place is the most incredible place I've ever been to in my entire life. Okay, cool. Do we have any other videos?
I have a few. Did you want to get to any of the articles you gave me?
Let's do that next time because I already covered the traditional masculinity thing. But let's have some more videos because we have the ladies here, and I'm sure they have no idea
they're like,
who any of these people are.
Talking about. Let's go to your last one here. This is this one. Okay, here we go.
Oh, we know exactly what you ladies want, but we're not giving it anymore. Drizzle, drizzle. We're done with the patriarchy and this old archaic way of doing things where we're supposed to provide and protect for you, where we're supposed to be willing to risk and give our lives for you. Listen, we don't need to bring anything to the table because we are the table. Without my seed, you can't have any kids, drizzle, drizzle. So what you gonna do about that? Listen, we are in our soft guy era.
I think that's
get my beard taken care of every Tuesday. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and send $75 to my barber via Cash App every Tuesday before I get there so that I can get my hair taken care of. Drizzle, drizzle. All right? And when you get your taxes from working hard all year while I stay at home and play PlayStation, I need you to give me the whole amount so I can flip it for us. Drizzle, drizzle. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We're no longer being providers and protectors and buying into the patriarchal system of letting you guys get on the boat first if the sink is shipping. No. We're done with those days. We are equal now, so we will get on the boat based upon whoever is the strongest. Drizzle, drizzle. All right? So don't ask us to do anything, provide anything. If we go out to eat, 50-50. Drizzle, drizzle. If you have another kid by another man, 50-50, drizzle, drizzle.
Listen, I love a man that knows his worth and knows what he wants. I don't necessarily think that there was anything specifically wrong with what he says, but that's like who he is and what he wants, and that's perfectly fine.
I think he's doing a parody of a woman saying the same thing about men.
Sprinkle. It's the sprinkle lady for sure.
Drizzle, drizzle.
But like honestly though, like if a man wanted to be like that and he found a partner who was like down for that, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? I think it's just about like stating what you want in a relationship, and as long as you and your partner are on the same page, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, I'm in my soft guy era right now.
I think he wants to date a man.
You could be a soft guy. That's fine.
It's the truth. He wants a man. He wants his man to hold the door open for him and take him out and smack his ass on the way in.
Yeah.
He wants a girl to send him $75 for his beard trimming.
Bro, it's $75 for a beard trim now? Like, yo, what the fuck happened? When did I get this old?
You're the sugar mama enthusiast over here,
exactly.
okay? So
You need enough from the sugar mama to tip the beard trimmer.
yeah, exactly. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he's stating. Like, if that's what he wants, and he can go out and find a person to provide that.
You
for him.
realize he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
I know he's being
I do.
sarcastic.
But like at the same time, like women turn around and they say similar things, and like we're dead serious about that, and we're able to find partners.
Because in the world today, women can hold two distinct roles.
Yeah.
They can be the mother at home, or they can be Cardi B. They can hold two distinct roles. But men, no matter how much women want to pretend they can, and no matter how much my buddy Richard Reeves thinks it should be this way, men cannot hold two distinct roles. Men can. It doesn't make any difference how much we want to change the world. The idea of the stay-at-home dad who stays home with the kids while the wife takes care of all of them, that is a precipitator of divorce.
You don't think that okay.
It is a precipitator of divorce. The world is not maybe it will be in the future, but as of right now, the world is not ready for the soft man era,
So you're
and men
saying-
to not.
Like it's not impossible, but for right now, you don't think it is.
As of right now, evolutionarily, it doesn't make sense for me to in those type of situations. If one of the top 3 precipitators of divorce is men making less money or men losing their jobs in a relationship, if that's one of the cases, then that means some women have a burden of performance. That's why women can have 2 roles. All men have a burden of performance, which is why men can have 1 role. That's what's so different. No matter how offensive you want to make it out to be, what you should do is an experiment. Have a bunch of men stay at home with the kids, not make any money, and then let's just see what happens in their relationships. Let's do some kind of experiment, because I know how it's going to end, and you know how it's going to end. It's going to end badly for them, and that's the issue that's going on. Is that the way the world should be? No, we should all be equal, but that's the way the world is. Got it? And if you got, because here's the big problem. If you start telling men this shit, it's like, well, you don't have to have a burden of performance. You can just find a woman that's going to take care of you. The problem is you're going to end up with a bunch of men who have nothing. Like, they have to go bust their ass. Dude, most women find most men to be unattractive. You have to try so fucking hard right now to get a girl that you approve of as a man. And so me telling men with the best possible advice I can, you need to work hard as you can. Because one of the reasons why men are 15% bigger than women is because men throughout history have competed with other men for access to women. So if you choose not to compete, you don't have to compete. You don't. But you're also not going to have any sex with any women that you didn't pay for. And that's the issue. So that's the thing. Guys, you're not special. None of you are special. There are no fucking soulmates. The only way you're going to make it is by kicking ass, taking names, and solving problems for other people. And when you do so and show competency, then the women will come. Sorry if that offends you, but that is the truth.
I'm about to offend you with this one.
Yep.
You ready? Oh, you guys are going to love
Hit it.
Uh-oh. Sometimes young women, they go for older men and they'll say, yeah, but he's 40. I know I'm only 22, but at least he'll be more responsible and he will settle down. But maturity is not defined by age. It's defined by how much responsibility you have. And I always say, if he's got to 40, no kids, no marriage under his belt, he's chosen that Peter Pan lifestyle. No 23-year-old is going to come along and wake him up. He's chosen to be that man. Are you sure you want to be with him? You're better off with a 30-year-old that's got more responsibility than a 45-year-old who hasn't. Because if you think a number defines maturity, you're lost. The reality is, it's the amount of responsibility, particularly responsibility and care for others. So if he's supporting family, if he's supporting an ex-wife, or he was married, or he had kids, it does something to men. It creates a level of responsibility and accountability that they can't get without that. So I do always tell women, don't be afraid of being with a man that's had kids or a man that's been married. They're better than the ones that have had no baggage, because baggage is responsibility, which is then accountability for a man.
I'd like to say Exhibit
Agree
A.
or disagree? Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. I'd like to say Exhibit A is I have rescued 11 cats. I would like to say that's the first thing I would like to point out.
So that's your level of responsibility.
Huh?
I said I kind of agree with her, though. Like, your age does not define if you're mature or not.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, like, what you have been through and, like, your ability to, like you were saying, like, solve problems, like, have those skills.
Sorry, we just met today. I'm 46. My girlfriend's 24. That's why he played this.
I'm gonna say something.
And I don't have any kids.
She's actually 22.
Yeah. My girlfriend's 22, and I'm sorry. She's 24 years younger than me. I'm 46, and she's 22.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, but my point is that's why he's playing this video.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything. The only time I see like age gaps as weird is like if they're like under 21, because like I don't know, like I don't think anybody that is like over 21. And there's like maybe few exceptions, but I think that it's weird to hang out with people that are like under that age.
I can see
That's kind of funny
it's
because in Poland, like you can drink alcohol and stuff when you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
So it's like earlier than in America.
It's like if you want to
so.
go out to like a nice dinner or something, you can't even enjoy a cocktail together. Not that like enjoying a cocktail is like everything, but like you're like limited in being able to have the same experiences.
What will you ever talk about, Mike?
Yeah, we talk about plenty.
Get me started.
But like the thing is, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is, can I take on How many people work in MOA?
35 plus.
That seemed to me they're my fucking responsibility.
Have you ever been married before?
I've never been married.
Oh man, that's a strike
Yeah,
against
yeah.
you.
So,
do you have any other baggage? Do you have any babies? Do you have any children?
I don't even have debt. I have not. I owe no one, not one fucking penny.
Yeah, you're Peter Pan. This is a Peter Pan, right?
No, but to her, like, I have no responsibility. Like, I have nothing. And so,
But you just said you rescued 11
I rescued
cats.
11
You
cats,
take care
yes.
of,
That's
like,
responsible.
35 people that
Yeah,
work under you. Like, you handle all of this. Like, there's different, like, definitions of responsibility. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, you have to have been a divorced man that pays blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, there's different like definitions of responsibility. Like, I feel like as long as you're able to like fucking own up to your shit, like how we were talking about earlier about the victim complex.
Yeah.
Like something bad happens to you and then you turn into like, oh my god. Or like something bad happens to you and you're like, no, I'm gonna fucking own this. I'm gonna work through it. That's maturity.
Sadina Khan might be right about me. I don't know. I don't think she is, but maybe she is right. Like, I have no narrative that I'm following. I'm going to be happy either way, though. I'll tell you that right now. Okay.
Yeah,
because I'm going to have another 30 cats. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to get a farm full of cats.
I think
green flag right there.
I think where she missed is that responsibility comes from having a relationship or having kids.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you look at somebody like you or Tom Bilyeu, for example, he doesn't have any kids.
Yeah.
But you know,
Alex Hormozy doesn't have kids.
Yeah, or Alex Hormozy, right? So, like, responsibility comes in a lot of different forms. It doesn't have to be.
I mean, I was responsible for a fucking $67 million airplane. I remember that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Right? I've
That's
met
more
some
expensive
deadbeat
than like
dads.
one child. So
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
With depreciation, it's like $500,000 airplane.
Still.
But you know what I'm saying? It's a 50-year-old airplane.
But the point she was making about the age is like totally valid. Like, no,
Yeah, like,
maturity
it-
does not come from age.
No, it
Does
comes
not,
from
and it-
experience.
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just the quote,
Yep.
right?
Yes,
Okay,
you want to pull it up on screen.
Yeah, hold on.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, I think I have that. That one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
You guys see it up on the screen right there? I'm going to read it out loud. So Greg O'Gallagher is a buddy of mine. He's a fitness influencer. He goes, it's hilarious watching everyone come out and claim they were natural until they started TRT. Shut the fuck up. You were insanely jacked with super low testosterone, question mark? No, you blasted steroids, lied about it, fucked up your health, and now you need TRT. The worst part is everyone is praising this. TRT is the new get out of jail free card. Now,
Is
Greg,
TRT steroids?
no, TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. Yes,
Oh, okay.
steroids
I
is
thought
like
that was like Tren because there's like Tren and
yes, steroids. So what you're talking about, so there's androgenic and anabolic. This isn't. I know I'm going to get yelled at in the comments, but like exogenous testosterone is different from taking Anavar, Trembolone, Deca, Winstrol, and fucking Trembolone, or and Equipoise, Masteron, the illegal stuff. The point that he's trying to make here is, and I've seen this before. Now, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Alex Hormozy. I got his book like sitting over here. I think Alex Hormozy is one of the greatest salesmen of our time. He, as far as like building a funnel and building an offer, he may be the greatest person who's ever lived to do this. The stuff he teaches is so simple and so pervasive. But he used to be a bodybuilder, and he's fucking swole as shit. And now he's saying he's getting on TRT because he was all natural. And I don't know, but I'm curious with you ladies, because this is one of the things. Because Greg O'Gallagher, one of the reasons why is he's a fitness influencer who doesn't take steroids and is very offended by other fitness influencers who do take steroids. Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's why he has an issue with this.
Gotcha.
And I'm curious with you ladies, because this is something that I've noticed. The girl who dates the drug dealer or the guy who makes his money illegally, but she still spends his money, and the girl who dates the guy who she knows is taking steroids, but she still likes his muscles. Do you guys care or think that it's cheating if a guy takes steroids or is into TRT, since TRT is blown up? There's like over 15 million men in the country on TRT. What do you think?
Well, I don't care that much when it comes to steroids and stuff, as long as it doesn't make you aggressive.
Yeah.
Because with some guys, it like changes your personality and stuff like this, and this is about like.
But do you notice how, like, at no point did she even discuss the ethics of it? Like, it's steroid, like, to take anabolic steroids without a prescription is against the law. You can get a prescription for Deca, Winstrol, I think Anavar. That's about it. There's a few things. You cannot get a prescription for Equipoise, Masteron, or Trembolone. I don't believe you can. You can go to Mexico and get some Trembolona if you want to. They have that at every fucking corner store when you're there. Which is funny because most Mexicans I know do not take steroids. So that's an interesting thing. But at no point, whenever I ask women this question, at no point do they question the morality of it. It's like, he's cheating. Those big muscles, women just don't seem to care. And you want to know something? Every time I've seen a boob job in my life, I have never once been like, that girl is fucking cheating with those fake boobies. I've been like, 2 thumbs up. 5 stars. Would recommend. Go ahead. What do you think?
I don't give a shit as long as you're healthy. You know?
Okay.
Like, to me, it doesn't matter. Like, so much shit is illegal. Like, we can smoke weed legally here, recreationally.
Yeah.
You go to another state and it's illegal. I think it just depends on, like, who you are and where your morality is. And I think there's also some level of, like, conditioning of how you're raised and shit, which, like, gets in the way of, like, your perception of how you view things sometimes. But in my eyes, as long as you're healthy, your emotional state's good, physically you're healthy, like, I would have an issue if, like, I know, like, when sometimes people take steroids, it's, like, too much for their heart to handle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm, like, dating you and, like, you're having heart problems because you're taking steroids, then I'm gonna be like, baby, you need to slow down. I love you.
Yeah, for sure.
You are not allowed to die.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
let's
you know,
let's
like,
not talk about steroids. Let's just talk about TRT. That's like a completely legal thing that endocrinologists can subscribe to you, urologists can subscribe it to you, and TRT doctors can subscribe it to you. In that case, would you have an issue?
If it's not negatively impacting you, then I don't care.
Okay,
you know
cool.
what I mean?
This is the answer I kind of expected.
Yeah.
Brandy, what do you think?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what she said.
Yeah.
What's the other guy that wasn't a Greg? What's his name?
Greg O'Gallagher and Alex Tramosi. What do you think?
I agree. Piggybacking again.
Yeah.
You know, as long as it's not affecting your health or, you know, your mood, then it's fine. I don't care what you do with your body.
What do you think?
When it comes to steroids, like, I was just gonna say briefly that, like, I've dated someone on steroids. I've seen the implications, the negative ones. Been through that. It's hell. It's not all that it looks like. It's crap. But TRT, I would assume that if you're filling your body with unnecessary amounts of TRT, if you're not, I don't know, over whatever age it is that you start depleting, that you would lose it over time. Is that correct?
Yes. So you're going to lose it. I forgot. It's like after the age of 35.
So
it's 1% every year, something like that.
Yeah, I would be wary of that, and I would be like more so like concerned about that.
You know what else can cause you to have heart problems? Being fat. And do you know what helps not being fat? What's called protein synthesis. And do you know what helps with protein synthesis? Testosterone. You'll see that a lot of these, they're complaining about these dudes. And here's the thing. This is my prediction, is that you're going to have so many guys that are over 40, 45, who all of a sudden have six-pack abs and are out there pulling fucking 16-hour work days like their 24-year-old counterparts. And they've got deep voices and they're confident as a motherfucker. Plus, they have money and experience and wisdom, and now they're triple dangerous. And I think people are going to start complaining. Because what happened to guys our age 30 years ago is we would slow down.
Right. And that's what they expect.
We would slow down. We would vote for who you wanted us to vote for. We would watch your television commercials while running up consumer debt and
Buy
eating
gold
and eating the fucking processed foods.
My Pillow.
And some of us woke the fuck up. And we're 45 years old. I am actually stronger than I was at 24. In every I can stretch. I'm probably faster than I was when I was 24. And that's not supposed to happen. And I have a very strong feeling this may, in retrospect, this may come back. Somebody may play this clip 10 years from now. I think they're going to make all this shit illegal. Because it's too effective for too many fucking people, and it's making.
I like that. You're like bettering yourself. It's like girls going.
But
to
that's why it's going to be illegal. What you're saying is that's why it's going to be illegal.
It's like, okay, like if a girl has like some kind of like cosmetic issue, we're gonna go and get that shit handled.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we aren't going to complain.
It's like the other way around. Like, okay, like how you're saying with the boob job, like you like girls with big tits or something. You know, like say a girl like really was into you and she's like, I'm gonna go get my tits done. You know, but she's like bettering herself and
It's
it makes her
something
feel
you
more
can't
confident.
change.
You know what I mean?
So it's something you can't.
I love that. Getting a boob job is bettering yourself. Let's keep that ethos. Let's keep that going.
Anything that makes you feel better better about yourself, I think.
Agreed.
It's better.
And by the way, great.
If you taking testosterone allows you to move better than you were when you were at 24, you are working on bettering yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I have no issue with men taking extra steps to take more care of their body or
but from an ethical perspective.
Hold on, but this is my point. This is my point. None of you even thought to question this ethically. None of you. That's my point. Like, do you understand? Men are looking at other men taking TRT and be like, "You're cheating." You know who I think? You know who the greatest fucking cyclist of all time is?
Who?
Lance Armstrong?
It's Lance fucking Armstrong.
Yeah.
And he took steroids. But you want to know what else happened to the other 12 people in the Tour de France when he won?
They got left.
They were also taking steroids. All of them were taking steroids. Lance, I don't look at Lance Armstrong at all and be like, he lost a fucking testicle. Of course his body wasn't producing testosterone. Of course that's what happened. I don't care about that at all. Now, was he cheating? Yes. Is there an ethical component to it because he wasn't telling the truth? Yes. But that doesn't mean he wasn't a badass cyclist. Yeah. And I actually agree with you ladies in the case where I've noticed that when men get hair transplants, fucking beard transplants, take TRT or sell fucking dope to get money to spend on their girlfriend, the women don't give a shit. They don't give a shit that you did that. They don't care at all. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Now, is that a good commentary on humanity? It is not. We are shallow, hairless murder apes.
T-shirt coming soon.
Yes.
Also, like, I don't know, when you're like talking about ethics, you're like, well, like if it's illegal, then it's unethical. That means that like even at that standpoint that you're just agreeing with what
TRT. They're saying TRT is unethical because you're like cheating the system or whatever.
Well, it goes back to your point. It's
like buddy, they're my testicles. Like, let me handle this.
It's the reason why guys get pissed off at other guys on TRT.
If I take a woman's like once a daily fucking vitamin, does that mean I'm cheating? Like, or if I take like collagen fucking vitamins every day, am I cheating just because I want nice skin?
My glasses, if I can't see shit here, am I cheating by doing this?
No, you're fucking figuring out how to live your life in the best way that you can.
So my point is,
that's what we are all doing.
But here's the difference between that and what he's talking about is that when guys get, and I know because I've been on TRT for the last year, courtesy of this guy, and people will say, "Oh, Rollo's getting jacked," whatever. You know, I'm working out at Powerhouse Gym here and everything else, and people go, "Oh, Rollo's getting jacked," blah blah blah. And then I think what happens is guys see that and it's not jealousy so much as it is intrasexual competition, right? So if you have a guy who's like 46 or 56 or whatever, and he's on TRT or he's on gear, like that guy is cheating because he now has access to the girls that you thought you deserved because you're 22 or 24 or 32 or something like that. And it's like you can't compete with a guy who's got your level of money, your level of status, plus you're also pretty damn good looking and you're jacked as fuck.
I'm supposed to step back and the 24-year-old is supposed to take my girl. That's what's supposed to happen. And he's supposed to do the work for me. He's supposed to do all these other things. And that just never happened. I just never let that transition happen.
Think of like brushing your teeth. Like animals don't naturally brush their teeth. We're humans. We're technically animals. So are we cheating by brushing our teeth every day so our teeth don't
and we will keep
fall out?
brushing our teeth because it works.
Like toothpaste doesn't naturally occur on trees, and neither do toothbrushes. You know what I mean?
So,
but this is something that we've adapted to because we realized that it was healthier and it benefits us. You know what I mean?
The line for me between anabolic steroids and TRT is that anabolic steroid or TRT can be prescribed for you, and some people have hypogonadism, and some people are just older and their body doesn't produce as much testosterone, and they take it for that reason. That's fine. The difference for me with anabolic steroids, especially illegal anabolic steroids, is that you probably shouldn't take them because they're bad for you.
Yeah.
But I have absolutely no moral quandary whatsoever with somebody taking Mastrone or fucking Trembolone. It makes no difference to me, and it shouldn't to you either. And there's other countries, industrialized nations all over the world that have legalized steroids, and people are not going around fucking killing themselves. Yeah. And that's the thing. There was this big push. I grew up in Texas. In the 1990s, Bush was the governor and then later on became president of the United States. But when he was the governor, he had this big thing about keeping kids from taking anabolic steroids. And he's right. You should not take steroids before the age of 25. It's really bad. Even Bilzerian, who took steroids before 25, he was 19 years old when he was going through SEAL training. He went and took steroids because it helped him get through SEAL training very easily after he took it. So I totally understand why he would do that in that case. But it's just one of these things where it's like, there seems to be this moral ambiguity, and I agree with Greg. I understand why Greg's upset because Greg is natural. If you see Greg, Greg is super ripped,
actually,
but he's not big.
Chase, put me on real quick.
Yeah, so we're going to show.
So this is Greg O'Gallagher. Right
Greg O'Gallagher's like super Chad. Like he is Giga Chad. Right. Yeah. He's Canadian.
Is he natty?
Yeah, he is. He is
for sure
because he's not big. He's like if you saw Greg is probably 170, 160.
How tall is he?
Man, 5'9", 5'10", something like that.
Okay.
But he's not. What I'm saying is like he's strong as shit.
Yeah.
But I don't look at Greg O'Gallagher and like see like one of the big telltale signs is the trapezius muscle.
Yeah.
It has more receptors for when you take TRT.
All right, here's Alex Hormozy.
Now, yeah, but
Alex is yoked as fuck.
Yeah, Alex is.
He's like Wolverine.
It's not that Alex Hormozy is jacked. It's that Alex Hormozy was competing in bodybuilding competitions.
Steroids are not like either way. Like even if you take steroids, just because you take steroids doesn't mean that you're gonna get ripped. You still have to put in like the amount of discipline and effort to get to that point. So like there still should be some level of respect. Like yes, they are pushing their body past their limits, but they don't just sit on their ass and shoot an injection up.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
magically
look like
appear
that.
on your
You know what I
body.
mean? Like you still have to put in all that
Now,
effort.
let me tell you something. If you're young and you take enough, I know some guys who are male strippers and they literally just fucking shoot
just
up.
eat it.
All they do is eat
But they're
fucking Masteron and
performing
Anavar,
every
and
night.
and they're fucking ripped as shit, and they barely go to the gym.
Yeah.
There are exceptions, but you're right to a certain extent. I go to the gym 7 days a week,
Yeah.
and I will tell you, I don't look like a bodybuilder. I just look normal. I think now at this point. You know what I'm saying? I think
If taking steroids automatically just made you hot, everybody would fucking do it.
and a lot of guys are doing it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was just like the fucking one cure all, I could sit on my ass every day and fucking knit and eat fucking steaks and then just take steroids and then I'd immediately be jacked. Everybody would be fucking doing it. That's not the case. You're talking about like maybe a small percentage of men who are just like maybe they have like naturally fast metabolisms, and on top you're talking about strippers who are working every night. That's a labor in itself. You know, coming.
I was going to say, like when we watched
like,
the Chris Williamson thing, and he was talking about just go to the gym like 3 times a week, and you'll be in the top 10% of guys of these days. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
No, I mean,
there's still nutrition. There's still like
it depends on where you live. It depends on where you live. Here, you have no shot. Like it doesn't matter how much I take.
Like a Georgia 10 compared to like a Vegas 10.
But just even with the men, like go to fucking Fit Club or go to Dragon's Lair here, and these dudes are so much better looking than me that it's just like. And I'm fully aware. I go to Wet Republic. The security guards all look like male models and shit. The bussers at Access are like fucking yoked as shit and look like male models. Like it's one of these situations. Like I know it doesn't matter how much I go to the gym.
Vegas is very.
But it's a Vegas thing. It is a Vegas thing. Yeah.
All right, let's clear out these. Let's clear out these. We got to get going. Let's clear out the super chats here. What do we got? Oh, great. Flip Flop says whores and 304s will come back full circle after she crosses 35. Just saying. Thanks for your comment. Tulsa Rolostan says, DHS watch list or not, never stop doing what you're doing, gentlemen. You are more help to men than any government program ever. Thank you. Thank you too, sir. Agent of Change. She's whooshing so hard right now. I don't know what that was. Whooshing. Satisfaction says, I meant she put me in mortal danger. She was nice. She was a white girl. Well, thank you. I'm glad you cleared that up for us. Okay, that's good enough. Let me see. Okay. Lady said when she's searching for platonic male friends that she's crazy 304 shit. Also, more than half of the panel said Mia Khalifa had a point. Did you?
Yeah, they kind of, maybe not half the panel, but yeah.
Okay, ladies, and now we can finish out. Actually, yeah, I think that's probably my last one. Yeah, okay.
I got a bunch here.
Okay, hold on, I got one more to finish. Okay, let me do these real quick because I want to end on one here. Okay, ladies, do you believe in the idea of playing hard to get?
No.
No, I'm direct.
Just being yourself.
If I want you, I want you. I'm not playing hard to get.
Okay. Finish yours out, and let me end with this one.
Okay. Victor Kelvin for the super chat. Thank you, sir. No, she's wrong. He doesn't have options. Talking about the dude who was sitting there like, I'm not the overweight guy who was sitting there talking about it. Same thing. Victor Kelvin says, guy sounds like he has a plethora of options. Sure. I don't understand the two things here, but okay. Maryland guy 0326. I don't think they make TRT illegal if prescribed by an endocrinologist and you're clinically low. They must shut down the online TRT clinics, though. I will tell you, bro, there's some doctors I know that will literally, they will get you some, like 5 vials of testosterone and a brick of cocaine if you want. These motherfuckers will send you any, not all of them, but some of them will.
It's about who do you know?
Bro, it is crazy.
Yeah.
And then Spit and Drizzle Sartain. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that.
I'm so sick of Drizzle. All right. It's only just started. Okay, last question of the night. Allie Hardesty, thank you for the. This is the super chat of the show. Allie Hardesty says, "Question, ladies, how many of you would smash Tyler?" Show of hands. Raise hands. You okay?
That's my
Come on, none of you would smash Tyler.
Smash Tyler.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's my friend. That would be weird.
Yeah, but like in a vacuum, would
In a
you smash?
vacuum.
Would you smash Tyler in a vacuum?
I'm
What do
not
you
gonna
mean in a
answer.
vacuum?
You know what? I feel so sad.
Poor Tyler.
Why?
He's just like,
Because I was like, who's Tyler?
No, Tyler.
What the fuck?
Oh, I do apologize.
You know what you should do? You know what you should do to make up for it?
What?
You should smash Tyler.
I should, right?
No, Tyler's very attractive. I think he's a cute little cutie pie.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate
We're like rave family though. Like I don't know. Like the only way that I would have sex with anybody in the rave family is if it was like a giant Molly orgy. I'm sorry.
But then it's okay. What a great story to tell on your wedding night. You know what, honey? I would never fuck another dude. But
There's
giant orgy.
Giant
Do you want to know about the guy I fucked?
Listen.
Hey, do you want to know about the guy I fucked? Because I don't. I have no idea who he was. It was a giant Molly orgy. I have no idea what
The
happened.
goal would be that my husband is also down. You
Exactly.
know what I mean?
Yes.
I would want to
Yes.
be with a partner that is like just as with
be in the
Just as
orgy.
crazy.
Inside of the
You guys could play a game called Who's Fingering My Butthole. Like we can figure it out. We don't know who it is. It could be anyone. It's a giant orgy. We're at the fucking base pod at EDC. Nobody knows what's going on with my butthole. We don't. Nobody clip that. Nobody clip that.
It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty?
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the base pod at EDC Sunday night. Every year, Zomboy is on Sunday night. I'm going to see if he's on there this Sunday night, and he has the biggest mosh pit you have ever seen in your entire life. It's like 30,000 people. He splits the entire thing in half, and the guys go ramming into each other at full speed, and people go to the hospital, and it is fucking beautiful, and I am super excited to go. And it's funny because I walk back up to the marquee sky deck, and I'm bleeding, and people are like, "What happened to you?" I was like, "Nothing. I'm good. Like nothing. It's fine. Look at watch the fireworks.
Pick you up.
Watch the fucking fireworks."
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're good.
Awesome. Hey, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Real quick,
Yes. Go around the table.
Did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell me what you thought about the show, Paris.
I love it. What could work in the future would be the timing.
Okay.
A little bit shorter.
Got it.
Tyler.
Always love the show. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. This is how Tyler meets women. Go ahead, Red.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great conversation. I love hearing everyone's perspective. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
It's great.
It's always a pleasure to be here and just talking. I like talking, so thanks, guys.
Nice.
Thank
Brandy.
you for coming back.
It's my first time. I really enjoyed it. Everyone's their opinions and everything. Yeah, it was good.
All right, Jess.
I was pleasantly surprised. I even called Tyler before coming on because I was a little anxious. Like anytime you hear red pill, I feel like I immediately think negatively. But I will say everything was open discussion. Nobody was shooting down each other. Just true openness. And I think that more red pill podcasts should be like this.
Can we be in your rave family now?
Yeah.
Nice. Molly orgy. Here we go. All right.
Do a little schmetamy.
What'd you think?
Yeah, thanks for having me again, guys. Yeah, it was really nice. I'm surprised actually because my first podcast was a little bit rough.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really nice.
Good. Great to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Guys, thank you. We're going to be gone for 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
No, it's 3 weeks. It's 21
we
days.
won't be back,
It'll
yeah.
be 21 days until the next show.
Yeah, you're right.
It'll be on the 23rd of April. Next Thursday, like I said, 23rd of May. Next week, the whole week, I'm going to be in
New York City
for the Landmark performance of the Landmark conference. And then afterwards, that Wednesday night, Rolo and I most likely will be doing Fresh and Fit on the 15th and 17th.
We're already signed up.
And then on the 16th, we will be doing Saucecast, possibly Danza Project, possibly I'm going to try to do something with Wes Watson, maybe go work out, do some burpees with him.
Nice.
And then hopefully something with Brandon Carter. Wes has already said he's coming to Babes in Toyland if you guys ever want to meet him. He's one of my favorite. That dude gives himself more permission than anybody in the entire world. He will tell you that he loves you and for you to directly go fuck yourself at the same time, and he will motivate the shit out of you. That dude is he just eats motivation in the morning. He pisses excellence in the morning. So excited to go out there and hang out there. And then on the 19th, if any of you guys are looking for me,
you need to go.
If any of you guys are looking for me on the 19th, I'm going to be at the Marquee Sky Deck on top of fucking at EDC having a fucking blast. And then as soon as Zomboy comes on, I am going directly over to one other thing. For those of you who don't know, you guys know my favorite DJ is Skrillex. He's been gone for 2 years. He's playing May the 5th at Excess, and I am going to take my ass there. I'm so excited. I'm going to be going to that.
Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo is going to be there. So that's going to be exciting too. So any of you guys, we probably, you're going to see me in a bunch of different stuff, but we're not going to have Access Vegas for 3 weeks. Yeah. And then when we come back, we got a big show. We got a bunch of people that are looking forward to coming on.
We got a huge one coming up for that. Also, let's not forget the white party for...
the white party, again, on the 18th. The 18th of May in Miami, Florida.
The biggest event for babies
in South. It is the Hyde SLS South Beach, and that's where we're going to have a party specifically raising money for Project Fashion Tales, which is an animal rescue charity in Miami. We're going to be raising money for them, and if you guys want to do that, you got to dress in white. I wear a suit, and I'm telling you, you sweat like a gorilla's butthole.
Yeah,
it is great.
Planning
it is a great
this time. I wore a white sports coat.
Yeah,
it is. This is wrong.
It is a bit toasty.
Yes. And then the last
show with like
last thing is on the Friday before the 17th. Before that, it'll be a redneck yacht party. I'm going to be chartering a deep sea fishing charter.
So funny.
And
I'm going to be doing Fresh and Fit by myself too. Watch. I'm going to be doing Fresh and Fit by myself.
I've done this before. I have 3 slots left. There's only 6. Or you can only put 6 people on a boat. I got 3 slots left. So if you're interested, hit me up on Instagram, DM me on Instagram, or hit me up on Twitter.
He's saying they're going to come back at 3 p.m. I'm like, that's when I wake up, bro. It's Miami. Get out of your mind.
Michael,
it's Miami.
I forgot to let you know I am a model and I'm about to be on Times Square in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
nice.
So that's one of my goals to accomplish, and my biggest goal is to be on Vogue.
You know that you have another goal. It's to smash Tyler. Guys, we'll see you all next week. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks, babe.
Maybe we can break again. Maybe